The tape. We do it a little bit different around here.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
The tape. Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face.
Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
The tape. Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face. Shut up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape. The tape. Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape. The tape.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro.
The tape.
UGA game day, boy, we ball out. Pull up, put the whole conference in the doghouse. Leave them 6 feet, see me on the win streak. All-star status, go coach, and the bench deep. Right. Offense on 10, how we run it? Your best ain't nothing, we gon' send them boys punting. Yep. Black and red, got them dead on arrival. Defense hunkered down for the tie. Hey, you don't want it with the dogs. Found guy on it, you don't want it with my dog. Break it down, play by play, that's the day-to-day. They know we ain't come to play, boy, it's UGA. Kirby Smart, I cannot play the fool. Back to back, we did not come to lose. Back to back, like we got something to prove. Pay your dues, dog nation on the move. What's up?
We do it a little bit different around here.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
The tape. The tape.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face.
Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
Shut up. Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face. Shut up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape. The
Shut up
tape.
and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape,
The
bro.
tape.
Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape.
Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro.
Shut up. The tape.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
Honestly, I don't appreciate the implication, Jay.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Film Guide Network on a fabulous Tuesday evening here on the network. Got an absolutely slammed, jam-packed, loaded show for you guys tonight, as it should be on a Tuesday in the middle of September amidst college football season. I mean, my Lord, how blessed are we? We got Talk to Them Tuesday. Got a couple of football programs around the world of college football, a little down in the dumps, licking their wounds on a Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. We're going to talk them up tonight. We're going to talk to them tonight. All right. Also, Jay Will's cooked up a segment that I couldn't be more proud about tonight as well. We're going to get to take a peek at that. And we have our college football playoff rankings tonight just to enrage the audience a tad bit. I could already tell. We're about 90 seconds into the live stream. That chat's going to be hot tonight. That chat's going to have a bunch of dogs and a bunch of Vols barking at each other. Do Vols bark? I mean, that little dog Smokey be barking. Do Vols bark?
They volunteer.
Or do they just yap? Do they chirp? Oh, they volunteer. They raise hands?
That's right.
Okay, we're going to have some hand raising and some dog barking in the chat tonight. Great show ahead of you guys tonight. But I want to start by asking you to hit them thumbs up buttons, hit them like buttons, hit them subscribe buttons, however, wherever you got us. We appreciate you for being here tonight. Let's get after it. I want to start tonight by letting you guys know, I know for a fact, or at least I think I know for a fact, I'm circling a name right here in September. This football player's fitting to hit the portal. Did y'all see the news out of Boulder, Colorado today?
I did. Weird news.
Did y'all see Ryan Ryan Grobb going to be the starting quarterback or Ryan Staub, excuse me, going to be the starting quarterback most likely for Colorado this week. Not Caden Salter, not the 5-star Julian Lewis that was committed to South Carolina that they flipped to Colorado relatively expensively. it's going to be Ryan Staub, the linger over, the hangover quarterback from the previous regime as well.
Yeah, also was committed to USC, not South Carolina.
Yeah, did I say?
You said South Carolina.
My bad. I meant Southern Cal.
Yeah, Southern Cal. But
mark it down, AI. We're going to have that sucker on for a full show by the end of the month.
it's just weird altogether because like you're talking about Julian Lewis, but also for Caden Salter, like this guy used his last year of eligibility to transfer to Colorado to be the starting quarterback for them, and all it took was one like mediocre football game for Deion Sanders to say you're not the starter anymore. And then also for Julian about a recruitment that seemed like it was all about playing time of. It was the whole offseason was talked about. It's between Salter and Lewis, even going into the first game, like both of these guys are going to play. And now it appears that Julian Lewis is the third string quarterback on this roster. Like all of it weird.
Here's why it's really, really weird for me from two fronts. Like Julian's from the state of Georgia. I was very well aware about his recruitment from the start, like 14 and up, right? And it was very early on and obvious that his recruitment was going to be about limelight and playing time in whatever order, right? Limelight and playing time, limelight and playing time. That's the most I heard about, those two categories. All right, so I thought the decision to go to Colorado was based solely off of limelight and playing time. All right, and we're not getting really either right about now, being basically the three. Also, it doesn't make sense on the other side for me because all I ever hear Deion talk about with regards to high school recruiting is we only recruit dudes that we know are going to come in here and impact our roster. We only invest resources in guys that we know are going to come in here and play. And now we go through a game against Delaware in which he gets 2 drives and throws 4 passes. That to me is very, very weird. And I'm telling you, if his phone calls or if they're not already shopping Julian Lewis, I'd be shocked. I guarantee you they're calling around going, hey, are you actually going to play this kid if we come up there? Because they told us they were going to do it, and it don't look like it's going to be that way.
I mean, the whole situation about this has been weird, where we talk about, there's going to be a really big quarterback battle, and you'd imagine that whatever one wins the start will have a fairly short leash. I mean, for God's sakes, he brought both of the quarterbacks to media days, like basically saying these are the 2 guys that we have, and
has given I don't think Julian any real run.
No,
and I know you didn't have an opportunity against Georgia Tech because it was a tight football game,
right?
Yeah.
And I didn't think Caden Salter played horribly. Obviously, that clock mismanagement at the end was very poor, but it wasn't like you said, "Oh man, Caden Salter needs to go here." Very interesting to build up this QB battles. We have a QB 1A and 1B, and all of a sudden, actually, we're going to go with the other guy over here. Very weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It makes me wonder, like, maybe there's something happening that we don't know about, obviously, because that's the only, like, plausible explanation to me. Like, there's something that we don't have information to that has happened or something, because Caden Salter didn't play great against Delaware, but it certainly wasn't a benchable performance, in my opinion.
I mean, I don't know if we want to entertain this fact, but maybe it was Caden Salter won the job and it was already from Julian's camp. Like, yeah, don't even bother worrying about us. We're out.
I mean, there's a lot of avenues that it possibly could be. There's also the avenue that maybe he's just not ready.
Yeah.
But to me, guys, the whole idea that I was, if you're bullish on Julian Lewis coming out of high school, it was for all of the neck up stuff that we just knew he was going to be able to do, or we assumed he was going to be able to do on the college level. This guy played so many snaps in high school in a real pass heavy offense. I just assumed that when he went to college, he was going to be ready for the massive intake, whatever the information overload that a lot of these kids have. I just assumed he wasn't going to have it. In fact, I assumed his floor was going to be so high because I knew his ceiling wasn't going to be very high because this isn't a physical specimen. Anybody who's ever watched Julian Lewis play football knows that wasn't a 5-star off of height, weight, speed. That was a 5-star off accuracy, decision-making, processing. We think he's going to be great when he gets there. If he's not playing because he's not ready, it's just weird. The whole thing's weird to me. I think it reeks of probably headed elsewhere pretty soon to at least get playing time. Now, I know it shapes up that you're probably going to walk into a starting job next year, but buddy, we thought you were going to walk into a starting job when you committed there, and then they signed Caden Salter out of the portal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was that tipped us off on weirdness. The moment they signed him out of the portal, I came on here and said, portal, Julian Lewis might be gone. I thought he went there to play. That's what I thought he went there to do.
Yeah, you're right. This is like the second red flag that has popped up around this if you're Julian Lewis. If you were sold on one thing, and then we bring in this veteran quarterback who ends up starting over me, and then when it seems like there may be an opening for me, we go with the guy that was behind me, or at least that we thought was behind him. So certainly multiple occasions now where it's like, may not be the situation he thought it was going to be.
And look, we're not Colorado football experts. We're not Colorado football insiders. We're reading the tea leaves from the outside. I do have information on that recruitment. I do know what that looked like. I know they prioritize playing time because I know they know the value of reps at the position. So they ain't getting reps at that position right now. And normally, 9 times out of 10 with highly touted recruits, that means exits. That means I'm going elsewhere to get playing time pretty soon. I know there's opportunities for, like we said, opportunities present themselves next year on that roster for him, but we thought they were going to be this year for him. So that'll be interesting. Hey, let's talk to him right quick. Couple of football programs around the world of college football with very, very passionate fan bases that are looking up 2 weeks into the college football season going, oh my God, it's all burning down to the ground. So let's talk to those football programs right about now, most notably down there in Gainesville, boys. Let's talk to the Florida Gator fan base. Good news. Hey, I think Florida, the University of Florida, is a top 12 football job in the world of college football. Hell, I'd argue top 10. Bad news. You've been a top 10 football program in my mind for the last 15 years, and you've been playing 500 football. So something down there just ain't going right for the last decade and a half, and we got to figure that out. There is no doubt about that. I also think I don't mean to be bad news. It's supposed to be a good news segment for you guys. Even if you were to fire Billy, you might be a top 10 job, but I think the top 11 to 12 college football coaches in the sport are really, really happy where they're at right about now. So that puts you at a disadvantage, okay? But here's what I want to talk to the fan base about. Here's what I want to kind of get the message out about. I think there's a lot that needs to be fixed up with Billy. I don't think he's necessarily the guy. That being said, I do believe and am hopeful that just with a little bit of time, a little bit of coaching, a little bit of seasoning, DJ Lagway could indeed be a very special football player. I would tie myself to him for the next 18 months. I would tie myself to the idea that maybe next year with a manageable schedule, that DJ might get us to 10 wins and a playoff berth, and that's worth everything. All right, it's worth the run. It's worth the hope. But I can guarantee you, if you fire Billy Napier this year, you got a free-for-all on that roster, and you're going to watch DJ Lagway hopefully figure it out at another college football program, not hopefully figure it out on the NFL ranks. To me, we would be trying to summon up all the hope possible we can that DJ gets it figured out. Now, the only bad part about that is this guy ain't really developed him in 18 months because he ain't been able to keep him healthy.
And I think to kind of go back to last year, you didn't start off hot last year. It was in the second half of the season that things started to really pick up for you. When DJ Lagway started to get more and more reps, you could see he was gaining confidence as the season closed. So maybe you see something like that happen for you, and that would be great considering what your schedule is. And that's the other thing I was going to say is it may not be all that bad to keep Billy Napier on, to keep your roster intact, because you don't really know what your schedule is going to look like next year. Like, you're not going to have this difficult of a schedule. Like, you've had to replicate it 2 times in a row. You've had a really tough break there. Maybe there's even more optimism going into next year if you keep this roster intact, if you keep DJ Lagway in town, and you get maybe somewhat of a break with your schedule next year.
I mean, another thing that I think is getting overlooked in this, we came into the season thinking, okay, DJ Lagway in this offense is going to have to will this Florida Gators team because we think the defense is going to be that bad. Florida's defense has looked pretty good these last 2 games. Now, I get that one of them was against LIU. You learned nothing about your team there. Florida's defense against USF looked at the very least competent.
Yeah.
Like, it could give some offenses issues throughout the regular season schedule. And oh, by the way, there's a ton of opportunity here. You have a very tough schedule, yes, but there's also more opportunity to get big upsets, to build momentum within your program like you did last year. It's why everyone was so high on you coming into this season.
I don't think there is a Florida fan listening to this today that already hasn't already made up their mind that Billy is not the guy. All right, you're just waiting out buyout clauses at this point. You're waiting for the lump sum value to decrease. All right, in the meantime, all right, wait another year, basically, and wait out Lagway, because I do think there is something there to at least have promise. All right, you're going to start all over anyways. Why not start over after the superstar quarterback leaves you? That would be my mindset about this. And I'm somebody who knows how bad it was. It was really bad from him this weekend. He did not play good football at the quarterback position, but he's still young from a playing time and experience standpoint, and he's still really, really talented. I would ride it out. I know that sounds Not very hopeful, but it's more hopeful than guaranteeing a restart next year. Why not guarantee a restart 12 months? Well, because you can't guarantee when the restart starts next time you got a super talented quarterback. Now, at least I can guarantee that for 12 months. Now, that being said, if DJ Lagway mid through October does one of two things, has not improved at all, or is already shopping himself elsewhere, you got to cook the whole regime anyways. Like you just set it on fire.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is it could very well get to a point though that it gets bad enough to where you have no option. Like you can't bank on like maybe next year. Like you've been saying that for far too long.
I'm telling you right now, when they fire him, Florida fans think they're going to be able to go out and throw money at Dan Lanning or they're going to go after these names. They think Lincoln Riley's going to leave USC. It's going to end up being, can we get Jed Fish to come coach his alma mater, or can we get PJ Fleck to leave Minnesota? And y'all aren't going to like that. You're going to freak out about that. Or can we get John Sumrall from Tulane? And half your fan base is going to go, oh, we're getting Bayou Billy all over again. We're getting a mid-major coach. So like,
or
devil
Alex
you
Golesh.
know, huh?
Or Alex Golesh. We're going another mid-major route, which I like Alex Golesh. But everything, it's the same track. It's the same track as the other guys. So I like the Jed Fish idea. Like, at least that's a Florida guy. Mm-hmm. And I know he's had most of his success out west, but that's this area guy. That's a Florida Gator alumnus. Yeah. So I don't know who you go after either, because I don't think Dan Lanning's taking that job. No, I
don't think Glenn Schumann's taking that job.
Probably not.
So
I don't want to do it, but I keep hearing Gruden get thrown around with that.
Yeah, I think Gruden's doing a great job. Gruden's agent, whoever. Gruden is notorious for, I'm fitting to get a raise up off your fan base liking me. That is the John Gruden MO. So, like, I'm sure he has expressed the want to get back into coaching. I don't know if John Gruden wants to be sitting down talking about NIL with a college kid.
Probably not.
I think John Gruden likes coaching.
Yeah.
I don't think you get to coach as a head football coach in college football anymore.
Not as much.
I think you're a CEO. I think you're an organizational structure guy. I think you're a culture guy. That's why all they talk about. All they talk about is culture, because that's all they can impact, because they're running around doing 1,000 different things as a college football coach nowadays. So there's that. Where should we go next? Michigan. What do you got for Michigan? Oh, actually, I want to stop right quick. Before we get into Michigan and give positive news over there, I want to give a quick shout out to our friends over at Sleeper, all right? The number one place for daily fantasy and prop plays. Sleeper Picks is a real money product that connects friends over picks. Choose between 2 to 8 of your favorite players from pregame, live, or even across different sports. Pick more than or less than the predicted stats. On Sleeper, you can get up to 100x payouts today. Share with your friends and get rewarded together. Use promo code Brooks on Sleeper and get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Again, that's promo code Brooks for a 100% deposit match up to $100. That's sleeper.com/promo/Brooks. All terms and conditions apply. Shout out to our friends over at Sleeper. Boys, what do you got for Michigan, man? What do you got for Michigan?
Yeah, look, I think we came into the 2024 season knowing that it was going to be what it was going to be. Your coach basically took half of his staff and half of the roster either went to the draft or up and left, and 2024 is not going to be great. The hope around 2025 was based on what is the ceiling of Bryce Underwood. I don't think any Michigan fan came into this year thinking, we've got a national championship contending team. We've got a college. There might have been some hopes around college football playoff. I mean, with that schedule, I don't see why not. And you honestly could still probably backdoor your way in.
Yeah.
But the entire season for me, for a Michigan fan, was based on how high is the ceiling of Bryce Underwood. And he showed you on Saturday, and he's shown you through his first 2 games. It's an extremely high ceiling that if you give him time to develop, within the next season or 2, he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in college football. So if you're a Michigan fan, I feel like you feel right on pace. Yes, losing to Oklahoma stinks. Yeah, you didn't have as much of a turnout as you want to. You can question the play calling if you want. But the long-term outlook for Michigan right now is still very good.
I think the thing too, like the schedule is great, not only for your potential of making a college football playoff, like you have potential to run the table, and even if you lose to Ohio State, 10-2 might be good enough for you to get in the college football playoff this year. But the fact that your schedule is what it is, that also means that you're going to have ample amount of opportunities to allow further development for Bryce Underwood.
Facts.
You're really going to be able to test the limits with him, and he's going to be able to get more and more and more confident as the season progresses. And so even if you do miss the playoff this year, you're going to have a lot of positives building into next year, and you're going to have a really polished quarterback going into next year after just one season with him. So I think that's the biggest benefit, in my opinion, for the schedule.
I have a lot of positives here for Michigan. First and foremost, you're an attractive landing spot now. Because it's one thing to say we have this 5-star, highly touted quarterback, really talented guy coming in. There's another for the world to see it. There's another for the world to know that, hey, there's 2 more years of that going on. And, oh, by the way, not just does the world see and recognize that talent, they realize you're talent deficient. They realize you have holes everywhere in terms of pass catchers and weapons, right? So you become a really, really attractive spot. Not only that, your window is pursuable. You know that now. It's one thing for Oracle, it's one thing for Dave Portnoy to spend $10 million on the quarterback. It's another to now see that investment is hit, right? That investment is a talent. That investment is investable and, again, pursuable. Now the window is pushable. We can go in and say, all right, we have a 3-year window. We know what it is. Let's go chase it. All right. And it's not just this year. It's the next 2 for you guys where the money realizes that's a talent we should invest in. We got an opportunity for this window to be national championship caliber good. That's great news for Michigan, and it's all confirmed, right? You thought you knew it. Now you know. We've been talking about that lately on the network. All right. The other thing about this is you have a chance this year to be the 3rd team in the Big Ten. You guys have already hit on it. This schedule is cake. This schedule is Nebraska, and can you play Ohio State tight? That's what it is. And we know you got Ohio State's numbers over the last 4 years, okay? So that's good news for you there. The schedule, the Nebraska, the Ohio State, that's good news. You can go 10-2. My question for you guys is it too early to start sitting here and going, all right, Michigan gets to 10-2. We all think Penn State's going to lose to Oregon and Ohio State. Do we? Or do we think Penn State's going 1-1 in the big time football games this year? Because here's what I'm setting up. At the end of the year, we got a Michigan football team that's got a road loss to Oklahoma and a loss to Ohio State. And we got a Penn State football team that's got a loss to Oregon and a loss to Ohio State. Who are you taking in the college football playoff? Because it ain't going to be both of them.
Yeah.
No.
That's what's setting up. I think it's way too early to have this conversation because we don't know if both of them are going to be there. But I think that's what it's going to be. It's looking to me like Michigan's got a real good chance going 10-2, and it's looking like Penn State's got a real good chance of being the same 10-2 that they always are.
And you have no idea what Illinois is going to do. I think Illinois looked impressive this past weekend. I know that it may just be Duke, and we don't know what Duke looks like, but Luke Altmaier and that offense certainly showed something that would say, oh, Illinois certainly does seem a bit more legit.
They scored 45 points running it at 3.7 yards per carry. Yeah. That's not Illinois football. That's a different brand of Illinois football. That is very new.
Yeah, so I mean, you've certainly got more and more teams entering their name into the contest for the Big Ten playoff seeds, and Michigan is likely to be in the mix of that. It just matters if you get the right break or not.
All right, any more good news for them? Kirby, you got anything for them?
I think, like I said, I think the long-term outlook for Michigan is one of the best that you can ask for in the nation right now. Because
if you were to compare their 3-year window to anybody else's, who would you take? Because I think Georgia's 3-year window on the line of scrimmage is elite, but we don't know what their quarterback window looks like just yet.
Well, you've got 2-year window at least.
Correct.
You're fairly confident in. It's really that. I mean, maybe Texas.
Maybe saying
a shorter window.
If you're positive on saying and everything that comes with being the Ohio State quarterback, which I am, and the arm talent's good enough that the weapons are always going to have him be explosive, especially as he gets older and more confident. Let's move on to SMU, guys. They lost a heartbreaker this weekend in overtime, double overtime, to the Baylor Bears, 48-45. Hey, I mean, you lost a non-conference game to a Big 12 opponent. Now you got to go, like, this is the same exact thing you did last year. I think a lot of people forget they lost to BYU.
Yeah.
I mean, the difference this year is that last year, the whole organization changed because you made a quarterback switch. I don't know what you do to get up out of this defensive hole that was obviously a problem. Oof. Like, y'all gave up 600 yards of total offense on Saturday. That ain't good. Like, I don't even have to look at the 48 points because y'all played 2 overtimes. There's going to be a lot of points scored. But my God, 600 yards of total offense? Y'all were bleeding on the defensive side of the football. So what do we do to change that. It ain't like you go find a new quarterback on the defense to switch everything up. They got to find answers, guys, quick, because guess what? You get a week to lick your wounds against Missouri State or whoever the hell it is, and then Hoover and them boys coming. Are you going to Hoover's house down there at TCU to see Josh Hoover, who's very liable to throw for 500 on you if it's not careful?
The best thing for SMU is that your chances in the ACC don't look any less. Like, there's not a top dog in the ACC. Like, Florida State has the best win in the conference right now, still kind of figuring what they're about. Clemson is just like, don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to rise to the occasion? Are they going to be the football team that everybody thought they were going to be? Or are they going to kind of keep stepping further and further down? Like, the ACC is clear, wide open. You have the offense to compete in that conference. It's just a matter of, can you take the right steps on defense? Can you get a little bit better there? But you can hang with anybody in that conference offensively. You've already shown that.
I mean, that's the silver lining I think you're taking away from this, is you walked away thinking, my God, we have a very, very good offense, and everything's still in front of us. This wasn't an ACC loss. This wasn't a, doomsday embarrassing loss like it would have been if this was a mid-major. It was Baylor. It was a Big 12 team that gave an SEC team a fight for 3 quarters.
And by the way, that was playing for their life and their coach's life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if Dave Aranda loses that football game, he might already be seeing the see you later meet.
We've been saying that for a while.
Yeah, I know. I feel like Dave
he saves himself every time.
Been hanging on by a thred for a year.
He got more lives than a cat, does he not?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, good God.
Dude, I can remember, I feel like when we did, our first show in the studio, I was like, Dave Aranda, you're cooked, buddy. Like, there's no way you make it out of here. And now we're 3 years later. Still around. Still coaching.
I mean, he's been there since 2020, has he not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he was a hire after the LSU national champion. Like, dude, props to you for making a half a decade there and just making it off of one season. Be like, hey, we had a really good year in 21.
He's like the Bear Grylls of college football coaching, just out in the wild, somehow surviving.
Like, he's still alive.
Just what did he do? Did you just rip the spine out of a trout with his bare teeth? How is Dave Aranda alive? What is going on right now? Yeah, absolutely crazy out there from Dave Aranda. Speaking of crazy, Arizona State just taking an L in Starkville. And now I think Kenny Dillingham's going to stay himself, and he's going to run into this the rest of his career every time he loses. He's a talker now. Mm-hmm. He's going to give you sound bites. He's going to have the entire, gotcha moments when he loses every once in a while, like he had this weekend. They're getting after him with the comments he made about the hotels, which, by the way, I think are fairly based. I know Starkville fans are going to get mad at me. There's hotels in Starkville. Yeah, there's a Marriott. Like a couple of hotels.
That's all you need. You just need one. The best news for Arizona State is what exactly we thought about this conference heading in is, who in the heck is going to win it? It could be Arizona State still. Just because you lost to Mississippi State don't mean anything, because that conference really is, I could give you 5 teams right now, maybe even more than that in the Big 12 that I think could win that conference. And again, Arizona State is one of them. The only problem is with that is your defense allowed some explosives, and you got some really explosive offenses in this conference. So you're going to have to fix some things there. But you're certainly one of the top teams still in that conference. You could still very plausibly make the college football playoff at the end of the year. That loss does not determine the rest of your season whatsoever.
Not only that, I think that the big takeaway I can have from that game is that might be the worst game you get out of Sam Leavitt. I think he finished the evening with under 100 yards. He did not look himself. The offense did not look itself. And it showed for the majority of the first half. So I think that's probably your silver lining of it only can go up from here because it was that bad. You're making a face like you disagree.
I don't love Sam Leavitt tape.
It's not fantastic.
I never have. I've always thought that looks like a frantic athlete.
I think it's winnable Big 12 tape.
No, he's a great college quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great college quarterback. But there's a lot of, first read's not open? That's okay. I'm just going to.
It's okay, I'm him.
Now, granted, the last 2 tapes I've watched against him or of him were some of his worst performances. And one of them was against one of the best defenses I've seen on this network in 6 or 7 years doing this. It was the Texas playoff game.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked frantic in that football game. But how could you not? You're playing against Texas. You don't have Jordan Tyson. There's a lot going on in that. And this one just, every time I saw him, it looked like he was bailing out of pockets, just panicked.
Yeah.
So it was 8 for 12 or whatever it was, because of 20 dropbacks, he was scrambling left and right on a lot of them. So
yeah, I think that the current state of the Arizona offense to me is kind of reminds me of what Arizona was last year, where you have what people believe is a good quarterback and you have a really good wide receiver in Tyson, but
that's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Last year you had Scatabo, and that was like one of my biggest concerns entering this year is what does that mean for your offense this year? Because that dude was a major safety net for you and you don't have him anymore. Like, you have two good players in your offense, but you got to find more than that. We got to go past that because it's not going to be enough for you to get back to a playoff this year if that's your only two options.
Yeah, I definitely think that you saw on Saturday that you're not the big dog in the Big 12 just because you won it last year. It's still a very wide open conference. But again, like Jay Will said, everything's still ahead of you.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a tough loss, but it was on the road to an SEC team.
Clear out.
Oh.
We got ISO job right now.
Oh.
Calling that number one. We need that Kobe Bryant. Clear the lane. I need ISO at the top of the key. Jay Will, I think it's a special week of college football in week 3. A lot of premier matchups, a lot of good time. We're starting SEC play with a big-time matchup in Knoxville, Tennessee. It's also a mess around, find out weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So says my boy.
Oh, it's not just mess around and find out. It's F around and find out. That is the theme of this college football weekend. It's F around and find out. For example, Miami, F around and find out with USF this weekend. You'll see just how quickly people are hopping off that hype train, how quickly you come back to earth this weekend if USF gets another dub against the Power 4 football team this year. F around and find out South Carolina against Vanderbilt this weekend and find out how quickly your college football playoff hopes shrink because that schedule, it is very daunting. You can't afford to lose this one, but F around and find out with Diego Pavia and that Vanderbilt offense. F around and find out Georgia Tech this weekend in Clemson. It's already looking shaky, Clemson, but F around and find out with Haynes King and them boys. Apparently he's fully available this weekend, so you better get ready for a hard-nosed football game. F around and find out in Knoxville this weekend, Georgia. Give up a few explosive this weekend and find out how quick that game might get out of reach for you, and before you even know it, you're getting an L from Tennessee for the first time in many, many years. On the inverse, though, F around and find out against Georgia this week in Tennessee if you're just getting gashed in the run. If they're able to run it down your throat, if they're able to hold possession of the football and keep that ball out of the offense for you, it's going to be looking gleam again for you as well. F around and find out in Death Valley this week in Florida. If you just get absolutely walked off the field by Garrett Nussmeier and LSU this weekend, I mean, if it could get any darker, your future with that program is going to get even darker than it is right now. F around and find out LSU, though, as well with Florida. If DJ Lagway and that offense gets clicking in Death Valley and you lose a home game to the Florida Gators who are coming off of a loss against USF, boy, oh boy, are people going to be saying, oh, Brian Kelly, always knew it. People are loving him right now. People are loving the LSU Tigers right now. But you lose to Florida this weekend, people are going to be saying, see, you knew it. It's Brian Kelly. It's the LSU Tigers. We already knew about it. So it is F around and find out this weekend. You better do it the right way, though.
Yeah. A lot of interesting, intriguing matchups where preparedness is important, right? You talked about that South Carolina Vandy game. I don't think there's an offense in college football right now that is, I'm not going to say harder to prepare for, but like, because I don't know if y'all have read the explosive metrics on this Vandy offense, but
Vandy's chunking it, dude.
Bro, Vandy's chunking the football.
Yeah, they are.
Vandy's wing T chunking right now.
And I knew they were because, I mean, you look at that score on Saturday, and it's Vanderbilt, Virginia Tech. I think it's like a 21-20 football game, really close game. Looks like Virginia Tech, like going into the fourth quarter, is going to pull this one out. Next thing you know, Vanderbilt put up 44 points, and Virginia Tech didn't score anymore after that.
Bro,
they're putting up points, dude.
Bro, Vandy's got the backup in taking shots into the box with 20 seconds left. Dude, war crimes
in the fourth.
War crimes in the fourth quarter. What is Vandy out of nowhere? Also, like South Carolina, one of those football teams we talked about last night. You mess around, catch South Carolina on the wrong day, and it's like you just you're playing Michael Vick in his prime out of nowhere. Yeah. It's like, what in the hell is this? Where'd this come from? That's not the team I just studied on tape. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's a lot of that around college football. The LSU Florida game, we talked about it last night. Every time, for some reason, especially when that one's in Baton Rouge, every time I look up on a Saturday afternoon, that one's being played in early September, early October. That one's got like 70 points on the board out of nowhere.
You want to hear a crazy stat from last year's game?
What's up?
LSU ran 43 more plays than Florida did last year.
And lost by 8?
And lost by 11. And they also converted like 11 of 14 on third and fourth down and lost that football game last year.
Can't turn the ball over.
Turnovers and sacks?
Yeah.
They had 9 sacks in that football game, I think, did Florida?
It was something like that,
Something like that. Very peculiar matchup right there. Do you think Florida gets up off the mat?
Dude, I don't know. It's so early in the season to see what the DNA of this team is like, but when you get gut punched like that, and for the last 5 days now, and it would be an entire 7 days leading up to it, all you hear about is how, man, this team sucks, this coach is fired, the schedule is brutal, and you're just now starting it. I don't know how you get off the mat for that, but...
Also, LSU got a little bit of we haven't played well yet. It's not like they're sitting on their heels being like, oh, we dominated Clemson and we beat the hell out of Louisiana Tech. Like, no, they've been coached hard this whole entire week too.
And I think there's something to be said, like when two teams like this have so much familiarity with one another and they're such a common opponent for you, there really isn't this like element of surprise in this. Now it can, because it is two teams that do not like one another, but it isn't like LSU's playing Florida for the first time in 3 years and it's like, oh, they just lost USF, like these boys are done. It's like, no, it doesn't matter where Florida's at. Like LSU wants to beat them. They want to beat them bad. And so, but that goes for both teams as well. So I think that also plays into the Florida factor of, I think they'll get off the mat for this game. You have to. Any
teams got like a sleep week opponent?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Hey, watch out. This is a good mid-major coming to town. Don't be falling asleep. You got a big matchup next week. Pay attention.
Yeah,
I don't think that Wisconsin. I think that Wisconsin game is going to get rolled over.
Yeah,
I think Alabama's going to beat the hell out of them.
I agree with that one.
I think we got our get right game from Alabama. We're going to have 2 or 3 weeks of them looking like superstars.
You think
they
so?
play Wisconsin this week, bro. I think that Wisconsin team's bad.
Yeah, they're not. I think
that Wisconsin team spent 2 years trying to play like Tennessee, and now they're trying to revert back to Wisconsin football, and that's just not the way to do it.
I mean, every week is a sleep week, but there's not a team where you look at it, it's like, hey, that's a very dangerous football team.
You have a hard time identifying the South Florida versus Florida matchup this week?
Yeah, but I mean, that's not even a sneak week anymore. Like, that's a high marquee
great football
matchup.
team.
Like that. Like last week, it was a sneak week for Florida, and it got them where it was like, hey, this USF team is actually pretty good. Florida, be careful. Now there's a lot of just really solid matchups, and if you don't win that game, you're in big trouble.
Who's Missouri got this week?
I was about to say, actually, I think Missouri has an opportunity here for Louisiana Lafayette to be coming into town. That one's a dangerous matchup. They were one of my top 5 G5 programs heading into this season.
I mean, watch out, G5 Jonathan.
Just saying.
G5 Jonathan dropping the drip or dropping the facts over there about the G5.
I mean, it's kind of panning out for me so far right now. My teams are looking pretty good.
I mean, the Rockets rolled last week, huh?
Yeah, they did.
How about
against
them?
Western Kentucky? That ain't no slappy.
How are your Bowling Green? What is that? A Golden Eagle? How are they doing?
They're doing
Warhawk?
okay.
What are they, by the way?
They're a falcon.
Oh, yeah.
The Falcons.
It's a bird of some sorts.
By the way, word got to the AD and president of Bowling Green that we're repping the Falcons on the show.
Word.
Yeah. So just putting that out there. Repping the G5 with
Love
pride.
that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Where's the merch?
Yeah, for real.
But they took a pretty bad L last week. They
did take a bad L last week.
That's okay.
That's
Still
right,
got
though.
plenty of games. We ain't even in the conference play, man.
Hey, that's right. That's right.
Early into the Eddie George experience.
Very early. A little too early for opinions. Not too early to be doing college football playoff stuff, though.
Never.
Not too early for that. Let's go to the board right quick because we're going to absolutely have a debate right about now. I think it's shaping up for a debate. We're going to go 1 through 12 right about now. Let's go to the board and try to have this segment for the first time all year. I think as the college football playoff selection shows start to happen, we should have our own selection shows. And this is a good opportunity to kind of, filter this segment out here, boys, and see how this ultimately plays out. So here's the deal. In our committee meeting right about now, we're separating this in between solvables and actual debates. We have 2 solvables, we feel like, right? We know who the non-Power 5, except, or what do we call this? Non-Power 5 participant.
5 representative.
We know who the non-Power 5 representative is ultimately going to be. It's South Florida right about now. They've earned it. And by the way, even if they lose this week, to Miami by 17 points and win out the rest of their schedule, their resume looks better than Indiana's last year. We talked about this last night, and it is a pure fact in my mind. I'm going to put them right now, Jonathan and Kirby, I'm going to put them in the 11th spot. Let's go USF down there. Should I go blue so they can
change
see this
the
a little
color
bit
of
better?
that.
Let's go USF down here in that 11th spot. They've earned that. Now, the other solvable we have right now, there is a little bit of a debate. Are you a Utah team? Are you an Iowa State team out of the Big 12? We have decided as a show, we're an Iowa State football team. you get the hell up off that spoon, son. I heard that. Don't think I did.
Whoa, you seriously mentioned Kansas?
He did. He's on the spoon, man.
I'm gonna smack
He's
you.
firing the spoon up right here in the middle of a college football playoff segment.
I'm giving you a rubber band tomorrow.
They just gave an SEC team a fight at home, dude.
Give me Iowa State winning the Big 12. We're riding the Cyclones.
Iowa State has certainly earned the right to be the Big 12 representative as of today.
And you know what? Speaking of earning the right, I don't think anyone's going to give me pushback here. I think Ohio State has earned the right now, 2 weeks into the college football season, to be the number 1 overall seed. Amen?
Amen.
Yeah. I mean, you've got
no debates.
One of the best wins in the country, and then you hung up 70 on a mid-major.
No debates right there. Now, we might potentially have a debate here. Who is the number 2 overall seed, boys? For me, it's the LSU Tigers.
It's LSU for me, too, right now. They have the best win available for me to pick from.
If the season ended today, it would be LSU, yeah.
Okay. And going into this, like preseason, Penn State was kind of hovering in this 1-2 range. And in a lot of polls, still hovering in that 2 or 3 range. But we're going to go LSU with the number 2 overall seed currently.
Currently, yes.
All right, currently. That's what we're going to say. We're going to say LSU right here in the 2 seed. I hope Graphics is watching tonight. We need this edit ready, stat, post game. All right. Ooh, excuse me. For me, guys, number 3, I did write down Penn State. I know they looked kind of sloppy early on in the first half against Florida International this past weekend at home. But hey, until they play the rest of the meat of their schedule, I'm going to leave Penn State here at 2 or 3. I don't think it really matters until they play Oregon and Ohio State.
Yeah, I think Oregon or Penn State here is a very appropriate answer. I would go either or. I'm not going to push back on having Penn State.
I would say have Oregon over them right now. They've been more impressive through 2 weeks, in my opinion, than Penn State has been.
You know what? I'm with you. They just dropped 69 on a Power 4 football team.
Nice.
I like the passing game much better right now than what Drew Allers even put on tape. Dante Moore looking like a potential superstar. And not to do this, but for a be right factor, I know for almost a certain fact Oregon's going to be an 11-win football team at the end of the year.
Yeah.
The schedule is absolute poop. So we'll go Oregon right here at number 3, which means Penn State comes in at number 4. Is that correct? Are we good and solid there?
Yep.
All right, good and solid there. I've got Georgia at number 5, guys. Is that what y'all have currently? Give me some pushback if you've got it. I think there's a debate here between Georgia and Miami.
The problem is I have with Georgia right now is they don't have the win. And obviously as the season goes on, you begin your SEC schedule, you'll have opportunity to move up. But Miami has a top 10 win right now.
I like this. Reward the win. Reward the win, especially for it's a non-consequential debate right here between 5 and 6.
Correct.
Let's reward the win as a committee. I like this, guys. We'll maintain this throughout the year. When we have debates, let's reward the wins, okay? We're going to reward the keynote win right there for Miami. Say what?
I'm cool with it.
I'm cool with that as well. That puts Georgia in at number 6, okay? We'll write down UGA right there just to save my penmanship some time, okay? So Georgia comes in at number 6, guys. Who is that number 7 football team?
I think it's Texas.
Yeah, one of the better defenses in the country. You have to imagine that even if Arch Manning isn't playing as incredible as everyone thought he was going to, still a solid quarterback, still a lot of weapons on offense.
I mean, even with as bad as it looked, they're a possession away right there late in the fourth quarter against Ohio State, all because of how great their defense is. And I think that defense is going to continue somehow, mythically, to get better. I mean, we haven't even really seen Justice Terry, the 5-star freshman at defensive tackle. They're so deep, they don't even have to play him right about now. So I like that. Texas in at number 7. I think I'm okay with taking another one-loss team who lost to another playoff team here with Notre Dame in at 8. What do y'all feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, they've only played the one game. Yeah. So that's all you have to go off of.
I think I would be more a proponent to put Illinois here because I'd value 2 wins over 1 loss on your schedule.
That's fair too. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
I'm cool with putting Illinois here at 8. All right, we'll put Illinois in at 8. And now you want to talk about wins. Now we got to sit here and have a debate, Kirby, about whether or not we apply the same theory with Florida State over Notre Dame. All right, because Florida State has a major keynote win. Come on, HDMI Core. Why you? Yeah, see what you heard me talking trash. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to apply this theory about keynote wins, Florida State, I think, has the most dominant and most obvious, like, wow, that's a big time win of any team not named Ohio State on this list today.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue against that win, and the fact that you followed it up by hanging up 70 points. I think it was East Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Not a great team, but you hung up 70. So
I'm fine with putting FSU here, boys, and then that puts Notre Dame in at the 10 spot right there, and that solidifies our bracket.
Pretty much, yeah.
So Clemson's first one out.
Yeah, we got OLI over here. All right, outside looking good. Lord, guys, we got to find it. We got to buy a new extension or a new HDMI cord. All right, OLI number 1 is obviously Clemson. Okay, who else is a notable omission here? Utah,
Oklahoma.
We left Utah out. Oklahoma, I like them right here at number 2 as an OLI. First outside looking in, and then we mentioned Utah out there, who they control their own destiny. Win the Big 12 and you're in. Are we under the impression that the Big 12 gets 1 and the ACC gets 2, and then there's 3 split between the Big 10 and the SEC by year's end?
Right now, it seems to be where we're heading.
It's shaping up that way, yeah. I mean,
what could change this is if Notre Dame ends up with 2 or 3 losses. If Notre Dame ends up with 2 or 3 losses somehow this year, they get out, and then one of these other conferences might get 4. Maybe the ACC gets 3.
I was about to say, I think we're kind of setting up too right now to where there is potential for the ACC to get 3 teams in this year. I think that's very possible.
I mean, Clemson's got all the work ahead of them to get signature wins over big-time football programs, particularly with that South Carolina out-of-conference matchup late in the year. I think it really behooves them to have that type of opportunity for a signature win right before one of the most pivotal final rankings as the regular season ends. I think that's huge, especially if they don't end up playing in a conference title game, which we believe they're shaping up to. We think Clemson's probably going to be one of the 2 teams in the ACC championship game, or is it way too early to even be saying?
I just don't know yet.
I think it's way too
I haven't
early.
really seen much from them for me to say confidently that you're going to be the one playing for your conference title.
How fast 2 weeks changes an opinion.
I know, isn't that crazy?
I warned y'all.
Hey, Jonathan.
Haven't gotten into the conference schedule yet, though, Kirby. That was the whole point of the Clemson take. It was about the conference schedule. I haven't even gotten into that yet.
All I'm saying is everyone stamped them. The ACC representative said they're going to go through that like a hot knife through butter. And now we're 2 weeks into the schedule, and it's like, hey, I don't know. It's kind of wide open now.
Hey, Kirby. Kansas.
Yeah, dude.
Kansas.
I love Kansas. Always grabbing the gloves. That's not good. We know what
you got to put both them suckers on this week.
The next segment is.
All right, so I had an absolute horrendous week last week during Best Bets, which means I'm rocking Teddy 2 gloves today during this entire segment. And we're going to clip farm and meme farm here. And I already know what the first one I'm going for is, which is the Home Alone.
Thumbnail.
All right, boys, what do we got for Best Bets? I was 0 for 7 last week, which means you probably need to fade me. Whatever you do in this segment today, do not listen to this guy, okay? 0 for a fat 7 last week in these here Best Bet segment. I mean, how? I don't even know.
All right. So the first one that we have, let's go Clemson at Georgia Tech. Clemson is favored by 3.5.
Haynes King playing?
They said he was fully available in practice yesterday.
Give me a get-back game for Clemson on the road. I like them to cover. Win by 7.
That's actually not a horrible pick. I'm going to go... It's such a small line right now that I'll go Clemson as well.
I mean, you can't even try to be 0-7. You can't even try. You got a better chance being 7-0 than 0-7. I mean, god dang.
Yeah, I'm going to say Clemson covers as well. I like the 3.5 right there. That's not too steep for me to say, Georgia Tech, I think it is going to be close, but I think that Clemson by a touchdown isn't too far-fetched. All right, moving on to our next game of the week. Do we want to pick Georgia-Tennessee, or do we want to stay away from that one?
I think we can stay away.
Okay, we'll stay away from that one. All right, let's go South Florida at Miami. Miami is favored by 18.5.
18.5.
Huh? What game are we picking?
South Florida at Miami. Miami's favored by 18.5.
Really thinking the Cinderella story is going to get...
Yeah, they just think it's coming crashing and burning.
This reminds me a lot of that Indiana-Ohio State game last year. I think this is we gonna keep it close no matter what football game. Give me them Bulls and them 18.5 points. I like it.
18.5 is a lot.
Also, buddy, they ain't going to be able to run the rock in the fourth quarter. When the world knows the running back's got the ball, they're going to stop the football and get the ball back. Opportunities to cover this football game for USF is what I'm thinking.
18.5 is a lot.
It is a lot of points, but there's
a lot of points.
There's a reason there's a lot. Jay, well, you go first. I need to mold.
Yeah, that is weird to me how as good as USF has been, as successful as they have been in the first 2 weeks, for them to come out with an 18.5 line is pretty crazy to me. You know what? I went against the grain too much last week. I'm going to side with Vegas on this one. I'll say Miami covers 18.5.
I'll go 18.5 as well, just because that line is so astronomically high that it's almost too seductive to take for USF.
Talk seduction to me. Talk seduction to me.
I'd rather you not right now.
What?
Yeah, not with those gloves, man.
All right.
Extra grip.
Bro. No.
Texas A&M at Notre Dame. Notre Dame is favored by 6.5.
What game is it again?
Texas A&M at Notre Dame. Notre Dame favored by 6.5.
That's a lot of points. It's a lot of points. I mean, hell, I'd be surprised if you told me Notre Dame only scored 17 points in this game. I wouldn't put it past them. Give me A&M to cover.
God, it scares me how much I'm agreeing with you this week, but I also think that A&M covers in this game. It'll be low scoring enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, too low scoring, in my opinion, for Notre Dame to win by a full touchdown. I'm with you guys on that one. I'll take Texas A&M plus 6.5 as well. All right, Vanderbilt at South Carolina. South Carolina is favored by 5.5.
Give me Vanderbilt.
What game is it?
Vanderbilt
at South Carolina. South Carolina is favored by 5.5.
I saw this one at 6.5 earlier in the week.
It is at 5.5 right now.
I like the value. Give me the Gamecock.
Just singular?
Yep. I don't need double.
Just the Gamecock. South Carolina is such a hard team to bet on because, like we've said, you don't know which version you're going to get out of them. But I will say, South Carolina was very successful in the conference opener last year on the road against Kentucky. This one's at home. I'm going to take the odds that Lenore Sellers and that offense is going to pop this game, that William Bryce Stadium is going to have a great environment for this one as well. I'm going to say South Carolina takes a 5.5 in this one, so I'll side with them on that. Let's see, our final game. Let's pick Arkansas at Ole Miss.
Oh, God.
Ole Miss is favored by 6.5 points.
Whoa. Suspish. Muy suspish.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I thought that line should be like 10.5, what you just told me.
6.5.
Vegas knows something. Give me the hog.
So he's going with the Gamecock and the hog. Kirby, what do you think?
6.5 is very low, but it's also, like you said, suspiciously low to the point where I would be more inclined to take Arkansas, but I like Ole Miss in this. Give me Ole Miss.
Yeah, this is what I was about to say. Ole Miss was going to cover last week until Mark Stoops was Mark Stoops and decided to kick a field goal instead of going for the touchdown late in the football game. So I'm going to say that Ole Miss does cover in this one. And so I'll take Ole Miss minus 6.5.
Nobody bets on themselves more than Mark Stoops.
Oh, no kidding. No kidding.
That's best bets, ladies and gentlemen. The homie went 0-7 last week.
Crazy.
It's crazy. Just destined to wear the sweaty. They're going to have some stench to them by the end of the week, the end of the year.
Oh, man.
Just air them out a little
bit. The hands
bit.
do get a little moist in the midst of that.
They are
segment.
some thick gloves.
Yeah, they are.
We should add a new rule where if you do go winless, you have to wear it the whole show.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't like that rule. That's not going to be the last time I do that.
Winless?
Buddy.
You said you got to try to
No,
go win.
I mean, I'm telling you, I think it's the Austin curse. I think it's when I gamble, I lose.
Dude, you did good on last year's. Like, you had a winning record last year.
Well, you know, the last year during the segment, I probably remembered what picks I was making.
Was that what?
I mean, half the time I'm like, what are we picking? What's going on?
Built-in excuses. You love it.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a 50-50 chance, man.
No, honestly, I want it to be as bad as humanly possible. I want to go 0-7 every week. That way the audience can fade me and win.
That's fair.
The worst person doing picks on the internet is Mr. 500. If you're Mr. 500, stop giving picks. If you're really, really good at it or really, really bad at it, that's the sweet spot. Boys, I'm in the sweet spot right now. If
Kirby,
you're fading me, you're 6 wins up.
Kirby, you're flirting with it.
Glass half full.
You're getting close to that.
That's the way I try to look at these things.
You are
Glass
flirting
half
with
full.
500, yes.
I'm happy with him. If I have a winning record at the end of the season, I'm happy with it.
Oh, that'd be phenomenal. That's where you want to be in the green.
No. You want to be 20 games up or 20 games down. Give the audience a chance to win.
As yourself, though, if you have a winning record, that means you were in the plus.
I mean, that's cool for you. Put it in your Twitter bio.
I would rather not, but
how about those people? You know,
their betting record in the bio.
176-48 against the spread over the last 3 years. Bro, hell yeah. Here's a number. Go to a meeting. You know?
Yeah.
Dude, some people make careers off of that, though.
I mean, it's a good career to have. If you're good at it, it's a very unique. I mean, some people look at it as like a stock thing. Mm-hmm. It's like value. Mm-hmm. You're getting value. Mm-hmm. I'm just not good at it. That being said, coming up next, I've got a sleeper pick for you.
Do you?
No.
Okay.
Just another little plug for them.
Is Utah legit?
Legit in what way?
I hope they are.
Because we have this discussion about teams.
I mean, Cal Poly's dog poop. We know UCLA's bad.
But legit in what? Legit as in they can win the Big 12? Sure. Legit as in this team might compete for a national title? No. No one from the Big 12 is.
Ooh.
It's always such a nuanced conversation when we ask, are teams outside the Big 10, SEC, and now at this point the ACC legit? Because I feel like you're asking, are they a playoff team or are they a national championship contender? Because it used to mean the same thing. If you made the college football playoff, you were a national title contender because only 4 teams got in. Now there's 12 to where we can look at and go, okay, 3 of these guys are never going to make it. No one believed SMU was winning a national title. No one believed Indiana was winning a national title. No one believed Boise State was winning a national title last year. But they were legit contenders because they got to go to the playoffs. So
got a couple of super chubs to hit up right here. Hold My Beer says, can we get a close-up of the Muscle Hamsters calves from Oregon tape you dropped? Number 27 is thick with 2 C's, boys. That's a friend of the show right there. What was the last great muscle hamster to play for the Dogs? Easy.
Makai Muse.
I mean, he's the OG muscle hamster.
Yeah.
The OG muscle hamster. So we got to make sure Hold My Beer gets put up on the board. Also, I can't see the full name. Tailgating with somebody says, hey guys, no need to stop the show. Too late. We already did. Just wanted to let you know y'all have inspired me to start making my own football content. I hope to one day earn the respect of you 3 with my work. Keep grinding, boss man. Good luck. Hey, good luck. Stay down for the grind. All right. Cause you see this little peak right now. That's what you see. All right. I don't know if a lot of people know the origin stories of this place. It wasn't always easy. Okay. So just stay down for the grind and know that it's going to be a long one. All right. No tips other than that. All right. The only tip in this industry is to have some type of talent and work your butt off. That's it. Figure out what the talent is and then work your butt off. Not in the other way. All right. Sometimes I went the other route. I went working really, really, really hard. And then I'd say about 5 years ago, figured out what the talent was. And then it rocketed from there. Hunter Lacey says the next person who has to wear the gloves has to do the Dabo TikTok meme. I like that.
Jeez.
Coach Dabo got that drip.
On live?
Now he on TikTok. You know?
I'd rather do it on live than have it.
By the way, it's just such a dad move right there. What was he trying to do there?
I don't know if he was hitting the folks or what.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, that video is like
I know Hunter Lacey's on the board. Is Hold My Beer on the board? Will we check for that name? He needs to go up there. Tailgating with, I need to find his last actual finish of that name because I would imagine it's the name of his podcast that he started up. So shout out to you guys for constantly supporting this show.
Even if Hold My Beer is up there, it needs to be up there twice.
You're right. I mean,
it deserves to be up there twice.
Beer, you might as well hold 2.
Yeah.
You know, in case the first one gets, empty a little too fast.
Empty.
It's big facts.
Big facts.
Tailgating with Tyler.
I figured out the other day what my first day of drinking will be if I ever fall off the wagon. I mapped it out in my own head.
Are you supposed to do that? Is that part of the process?
I feel like you can do this once you have it kicked.
By the way, it's Tailgating with Tyler.
Tailgating with Tyler. Shout out to Tailgating with Tyler. Let's put him up on the board. No, honestly, once you have control over it, at least I feel like that way. Like I don't have temptations anymore around the alcohol. So, yeah, the day when I'm like 75 and I'm like, you know what? I was disciplined long enough.
Oh,
I'm gonna give this thing a run again. I'm waking up immediately, beer mosa off rip. As soon as I roll up out of the bed, 3/4 full 12-ounce beer, just a splash of OJ. Right after that, I'm going downstairs, putting Jameson in the coffee, and I'm just going to have a damn day. I'm going to have a damn day. Tailgating with Tyler?
Yes.
Hell yeah. Well, you think it's dangerous to have that conversation with my inner thoughts or something?
I think so.
Buddy.
I think that's being like...
Buddy, we've gone to bars together in college towns. It's all good. We're
That is true.
It's not like... And by the way, I was someone who's addicted to alcohol. It wasn't like I was addicted to something that's like super, super strong. You know?
I mean, yeah.
We got it. We're all right there.
I guess.
But the beer mosa, man. Buddy. That beer mosa. Oh, it might hit like crack, you know, first time I take one.
They do hit.
They do hit.
I'm not a beer drinker, so I can't relate, but...
Yeah. All right. We got a whole nother hour coming up right after the break. It's the first time, long time,
it's
National Hour didn't go over. So, you dog fans, y'all finna get an extra 3. Hey, let's go ahead and get to that local hour. But before we do, it's Tuesday during the college football season, and I got Diddyisms for you right now. Let's shut up and let's grind. Get into that hip when we're delivering, right? Getting flat. Because I'm trying to get Jaden Riddell hot. I'm trying to get Jaden Riddell loose. We were all on your butt last week, Drew. We're going to collect him and just... We have to unzip our feet, right? Our feet are together. We got to unzip them right now and put that guy in our parking spot. We're a big, wide body. Let's get big and wide. Unzip your feet and finish, just like that guy just did. Getting into the box. That make it move for you? That make you happy? I thought this last little lick right here from the safety was going to knock him right out. Yes, put your belly on his face. Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog? What's up? You really like that? Let's shut up and grind some tape.
Ditties. I just count them.
You didn't count enough of them.
Back?
Yeah, we're back.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back into another hour here on the Film Guy Network. It is our local hour. It is our best hour. We finna talk that dog. But before we do so, actually, I'm going to let Diddy's breathe for a little bit before we start talking about local family-owned businesses. We got a great show here on the local hour for you guys tonight. We got a loaded one for you guys tonight. We got Kirby Smart press conference notes. We got a fantasy squad update. We going to talk about defense and how to prepare for both of these offenses. We got AI over there cramping because he did not hydrate correctly today. You are too damn big to be getting calf cramps, big dog. I'm going to tell you that right now. You need to start drinking some Pedialyte and water. Quit cheating it. All right. Anyways, we got a great show for you. No, you get to sit there and suffer in that. Don't get up and stretch. Don't get no water. You get to sit there and suffer in that one.
They're not cough either.
The betting line keeps moving in this Georgia-Tennessee game. We're going to talk about that. Biggest differences between this football game and last year's matchup between these two football teams. We're going to talk about that. We got a take from Christian Kirby to regurgitate and bring back to the forefront of your memory tonight as well. But first and foremost, I want to give a quick shout out to our friends over at Bill Thompson Tire Service. Family owned and operated, serving Albany, Georgia for over 50 years. Come see Billy for all your automotive and tire needs, or call him at 229-435-7753. Again, that phone number, 229-435-7753. Mention this ad to Kathy or Billy at the shop, and they'll put you in a monthly drawing for a collapsible UGA cooler. Shout out to our friends over at Bill Thompson Tire Service. Also want to let you guys know, a lot of people asking about ibuprofen and ice baths t-shirts. They are made readily available in the link in the description of this video. We've got some new merch rolling out for you guys. It'll be universal merch as well for everybody, okay? Not just for you dog fans, even though, you know, you're my favorite. We got a great show here on the Local Hour planned for you guys. What do you want first? You want Kirby's
Let's
presser
just get
notes?
the presser notes.
Let's get these presser notes. I feel like we've gotten in a rhythm of kind of doing the hot off or warm off the presser, so we might as well keep it going.
You know how I do, especially on these Tuesday press conferences. I'm asking him a football question, and I'm probably going to ask him a football question about something that I already have a theory in and of myself about. Today's question was about the evolution of the Josh Heupel offense since he's been at Tennessee. I've noticed changes over the years. I've noticed how Josh Heupel has adapted. Hell, I looked up midway through the year last year. They're an attached 12 personnel football team running super counter with the damn tight ends. They've become a 12 personnel football team on a football coach that's normally like borderline 10 personnel. Okay, so I watched all the morphing last year. I turned on the tape this year. I see them stealing from Texas. I see them stealing screen games from Sark. I see them stealing from Lane Kiffin. I see Josh Heupel constantly adding to this offense. So I wanted his thoughts on that, evolution as an offense as a whole today. Here were his thoughts. Quote, "It's hard to say because they have different ways to attack you. They don't do the same thing year to year. I think he does a great job maximizing the skill sets of his good players. I think they've used wrinkles from other teams. They get all this tape from other teams, and there are certain plays that don't necessarily fit their system, but they find ways to make it work for their system." That's what we've been telling you about Heupel on this network all year, right? We've noticed it against Syracuse. Oh my God, that's truck and that's trailer. Like, you're taking from other football teams and you're adding it to your offense. I think that's really, really innovative, and it's part of the reason why this is a football coach. Come on, dude. It's part of the reason why this is a football coach that scored 40 or more points in north of 54% of his games as a head football coach. I'll repeat that. He's scored more than 40 points in more than half of the football games that this guy has coached. He's a damn good offensive coordinator and play caller and designer. Says practice has been good this week, been real, real crisp. Didn't expect much different. Said they went about an hour on Monday, about an hour and a half today. Closer to 2 hours today. So there's that. Gunner in practice, only 2 days, very similar to what he's been doing in practice so far this year. Really good decision maker in practice. Said he's shown what he's always shown in practice. Got to take it over to the games. Was asked about rivalries. I thought this was a good note, and we talked about it pre-show. I think Georgia's very unique in this sense. I know Tennessee's got several rivalries, most notably Alabama and Georgia. And yeah, you got an in-state rivalry with Vandy, but Georgia's rivalries are very much so regional based on like where you're at as a fan, right? If you're a fan of the Georgia Bulldogs that lives in North Georgia, you probably hate Tennessee. If you're a Georgia fan that lives in South Georgia, you probably hate Florida. If you're a Georgia fan that lives on the west coast of or the west side of Atlanta on I-20, you probably hate Alabama. If you're a Georgia fan that grew up in Columbus, unless your name's Josh Pate, you probably hate Auburn. All right, not that Josh Pate's a Georgia fan. He just grew up in Columbus. Only guy that I know that probably don't really have one. But again, like where you're at and where you're placed within your Georgia fandom, regionally based within this state, really does depict on who you think the biggest rival is.
It's also, I think, who's good at the time.
Yeah, who actually.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
growing up, I hated the Florida Gators because Tim Tebow and Urban Meyer and all that. And then, the last 15 years have happened. It's like, yeah, I don't like Florida, but I really dislike Alabama more because of what's going on now.
Yeah,
I feel like it's the same thing for the Tech rivalry.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think the Tech rivalry is a perfect example of that. Of you talk to some of the older Georgia fans, and we absolutely despise Georgia Tech. We hate them. And then you talk to some of the younger fans, and it's like, who cares about Georgia Tech? I don't really hate them. They've just been irrelevant my whole life. Like, they don't even crack my top four. But
Chad's hitting on kind of that. Like, age matters a lot in this discussion of like, hey, who are the teams that have caused problems for you? I bet if you're a 25-year-old Georgia football fan, like Tennessee doesn't bring any type of hatred or harbor any type of feelings apart from the Josh Dobbs play. But if you're a guy who's in his 40s, You remember when Tennessee was one of the premier football programs in this conference, when Philip Fulmer had that thing running at a top 5 rate on an annual basis, and they're thumping you meanwhile you're going through 7-5 stretches.
Yeah.
So your age in this definitely changes who it actually is that you dislike.
Like, ask any Georgia fan that was a fan during the 90s what they think of Steve Spurrier, and just watch them visibly get mad.
I know what I think of Steve Spurrier. You think visors are cool, Spurrier? Start with the white, the base coat.
If you're a Georgia fan, you don't recognize that reference. I feel sorry for you.
Yeah. I keep wondering why my voice is strange.
Georgia.
It pops like Rennie Curran when you run through the line.
God, such a good video.
Such a good video.
What do you think that guy's up to right now?
You think visors? Oh, he's an accountant or something. Yeah, that guy's probably selling insurance or going to, what do you call them? Parent-teacher meetings right now, PTA meetings, and nobody has a clue who he is. He's one of the very few viral sensations that just gets to walk through his daily life being normal, because there's no way he still has the bowl cut glasses and white base coat walking around in the day-to-day life.
We're gonna find.
There's no way.
I'm gonna find this guy while you're continuing to giving presser notes.
What if he's listening right now? That'd be awesome.
That would be pretty cool.
That was me. I thought it was pretty neat to hear him say he plays crowd noise throughout the year, and not just why, or not just that he does it. Obviously, this is a guy that kind of prepares his football team throughout the year for every singles type of situation. But I always said as a player, like, I hated playing my own teammates in practice for too long, because like they know all of our calls. Like when we're checking at the line of scrimmage, if we check to something, if the defense has been playing us for 6 months during the offseason, by the time August comes around, they know everything that we're doing. And of course, they're going to beat our butt. Same thing offensively. Like if I know certain stunt calls, like I'm going to be prepared for certain things. Kirby said he plays crowd noise throughout the year to avoid that. To avoid his good on good being tampered by calls being noticed. And I never really thought of that. There's a lot that guy does that I never thought about as a football brain, but this is another one of those like, oh God, you think of everything moments. And I have a lot of these listening to him talk in press conferences over the years.
Yeah, I mean, it is an interesting thing to think about, like avoiding the scout team heroes or avoiding your team getting tendencies against each other, because at the end of the day, that's going to make you not as good.
Yeah.
I mean, even like thinking back, and I know it's high school football, but like when you were running scout team or you were running something else, you kind of knew what your offense was going to run, so you could make better plays for it, and then so it makes sense.
I mean, you can cheat the rep left and right as you start to play those opponents over and over again. I thought that was really neat to hear that today. Just again, as somebody who maybe one day might be in the position to make those types of decisions, I'd never taken that into account. Hey, let's eliminate all opportunities for anybody to cheat the rep. I thought that was really innovative. Was asked about Ernest and Juan and their health. Got a knee, got an ankle, he's breathing, that kind of thing. But in all seriousness, said they went through indies and scouts. They're at practice. It doesn't seem to me like they're getting a ton of team reps, but he did say that he's going to go watch the tape. Sounded like he watched them in indies and then wasn't specifically looking at them during team. At least that's what he relayed to us. He's going to go back and watch the tape. I think that ultimately tells me that they're game time decisions.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the assumption that everybody had about those injuries. But just a little bit of, I wouldn't even call this tinfoil hat theory, but the fact that he didn't feel like he was forced to pay attention to during team. Like maybe they weren't that bad. Like they weren't banged up enough to where it looked bad.
Or maybe they weren't out there.
Or maybe again. So just a theory.
Speaking of injuries on the offensive line, I think everyone needs to know this, and I wish I would have known this post game. Josh Jackson apparently sustained an ankle injury midway through the football game and played through it.
Yes, he limped off.
Okay,
and I
wish I would have known that.
Well, I was going to write
because his feet died on the play action pass rep we crushed him for.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say I was going to write an article about that, but because I was obviously at home.
He played through.
And that's what the report was like. He's back on the field. It was literally that quick before I even finished it. So, you know what?
That's on me. I wish I would have known that, because he had one obvious rep where it was like, yeah, your feet died. Well, but buddy, my ankle's killing me right about now. That's a little bit different. I mean, the film looks totally different because of that. So I'm glad I know that now. I wish I could go back and redo the film study. Joey Aguilar said he looks like he's been there a long time. Same thing we said about him when we watched him against the Syracuse tape when we first broke it down after the first game. It was like, my God, this guy looks like he's been playing there for 5 years.
I think that's kind of what Heupel is showing shown over his tenure at Tennessee is, and I know that like Joe Milton had multiple years at Tennessee before he was the starter, and Hendon Hooker played in that system for multiple years, and Nico didn't start as a true freshman. But I mean, Nico as a true freshman played in that bowl game for them at the end of the year, and he looked ready to play in it immediately. So I think that Heupel does a good job of not only getting their quarterbacks ready, but it's a quick process for them. It appears to be like these guys are ready to play at a young age.
I mean, it is a simple system from the standpoint of there's not a ton of motion, there's not a ton of sets, you don't change personnel a whole lot, you're playing pretty fast. Yeah. Coaches in your headset, so it is relatively quarterback friendly. Not asking them to do a whole lot. There's not a ton of verbiage in that system either. You would imagine the quicker we play, the less elongated the plays are. Yeah. They have to be. So from a retention or an information retention standpoint, it's not as big of a test as some of these other systems might ultimately be. So there's that. Said he's accurate in the RPO game as well. Really, really talented thrower. Makes big plays in the scramble game too. Can't just forget about him, okay? Because he'll chunk play you with his legs every once in a while.
Very Hendon Hooker-esque in that regard. Where I feel like it was like, you can't let this guy run.
Like, I felt like Nico was a design quarterback threat. I think this guy's the play broke down. He just got 15 plays. Damn it.
Yeah.
That crushes, you know, that type of athlete. I don't want this guy design running. Now, they do have a couple for him in short yardage situations, but that's Tennessee offense. That's the way they do the things over there. Said, of course, they miss Ernest Green when he's not out there. It was kind of a layup for him there. Was asked about Joseph Jonah-Ajonye. Said he plays with a lot of want and desire, tough and strong-handed. Some good words and verbiage there. Got to focus on each game. Can't be looking ahead.
Yep.
Can't be looking ahead. Got to take every game one at a time.
There you go.
You know, schedule's tough enough. Got to handle what's in front of us. All that good stuff. Was asked about playable depth. Is it like an obvious advantage when you got a bunch of guys that you can play going against a tempo team? And I would have answered this question a little bit differently. I thought he did a good job, but I think he didn't give us the full answer. And he kind of did. It was in there a little bit. They make it hard to play a bunch of dudes anyways because they don't allow you to substitute. So first and foremost, they're not going to switch personnel offensively during a drive. So you're not going to be able to switch personnel unless you want to get caught with your pants down. So it does help a depth standpoint from hey, the defense just got walked down the field a little bit. Offense went 3 and out. We need to put a new fresh unit in there so they're not gassed because they just got off the field. Yes, playable depth helps in that standpoint, but these fast-paced offenses don't allow you to switch. So you better be in good freaking shape when you go play them anyways because, bless you, it's not going to be like you got an opportunity to get a breather midway through the possession. So that's first and foremost. The other thing I thought he mentioned is standard Georgia answer for this. It's great to have depth, but we can't have a standard drop-off when we go from the first unit to the second unit. And if there is a sizable drop-off, tough titty. We just going to have to play the first unit. That's the way it's going to be.
Plus, it's worth noting, you talking about substituting and how fast Tennessee plays. It is worth noting that they have changed the ruling on the speed that you have to run off the field. Like, I know that there's a few times where Georgia really took their time, and everybody does it.
Georgia was one of the first to start doing this. Like, I noticed it 2 or 3
almost
years ago.
Walking off the field. Like, you're in the middle of the field and you're going to walk to the sideline to give your defense some time. Like, you have to do it at an athletic pace is how they described it. I mean, I don't know how you define that.
Ironically enough, Tennessee got caught in this game with that last year. Their defensive lineman took 7 hours to get up off the field because it's strategic. And when you catch the offense switching personnel, you should take as long as you can. They put in a rule now. What is exactly the verbiage?
You have to do it at an athletic pace.
It's basically the ref's discretion. You're not running hard enough.
All right, you can't walk off the field.
Yeah, you cannot walk or do like a.
I can't remember what playoff game it was, but there was a playoff game where I noticed it in the box where I'm like, my God, Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter are walking.
Yeah.
And you're not allowed to walk at Georgia.
No.
So it was noticeable to me. It was like, oh, no, that's by design. They're doing that. These coaches always looking for gamesmanship.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all noticed. Did y'all know what they're doing? Did y'all notice what they're doing on punt return?
Tennessee.
Do we have EpicPen ready?
Yeah.
All right. No, this is Georgia. Georgia has changed what they're doing on punt return. And I noticed this on my football pilgrimage. I was in a meeting room, and a coaching buddy of mine was studying Kansas punt return. What are you doing studying Kansas punt return? Yeah, he was on the spoon. Midway through the offseason, he was on the spoon. Guys, so you know, on punt coverage, right, there's these two gunners out here, and they're really, really fast, okay? And there's a punt returner back here, and normally that angle is this way, right? So here's what guys have started doing with these gunners that are covering them. Used to, they'd look like they're almost in bump and run, right? They'd have the guy faced up with him. Nowadays, they got that guy in an angle. Come stand up for me, Kirby. Or you're running Camels. Come stand up and make me look nice and short for me right here, J. Will. All right, by the way, chat, J. Will's 6'6". I'm not a midget, okay? Come here. Nice flip-flops, by the way, Thanks. You loser. All right, he's the gunner. All right, I am the guy playing the gunner. This is the sideline. They've started putting this guy, getting a wide receiver stance, try to look athletic for me, okay? They get in this gunner stance right here, and as soon as that guy goes off the line of scrimmage, the dude cuts across his face like this, and now he's got inside leverage all the way down the field after making him run across his face. Okay, so I thought it was really, really neat. And you can imagine right here, guys, as soon as I cut across his face, now the entire time we're running this angle to the punt returner, I've got inside leverage. Okay, how many times have you seen this gunner been on the outside and then blocking the back as the punt returner goes around, right? So this is what guys have started to do in punt return. Don't tell me I don't pay attention to special teams, big dog. Don't tell me I don't pay attention to special teams.
You and I had this conversation.
I guarantee you I'm the only human being in the Georgia space that has noticed that they change how they cover punts.
It's so crazy to me that you have gone from the guy who slammed your fist on the desk and was like, bro, special teams do not matter, miss me with that, I don't care, to now you're the, don't tell me I'm not a special teams guy. What do you say, bro? In the last 8 months you've had a change of heart?
I mean, football education's real.
So it's almost like, and my take the entire time has been,
hey, gotta focus on each game. Gotta focus on each game. It doesn't work as much when you're running the cameras. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It works on him.
That's the power.
Because you're my teammate there. But it doesn't work on you.
Damn it.
Playable depth versus tempo is really, really important. They got good corners replacing the guys that are hurt.
That's
what Kirby
like
said. They do
scheme
that.
Like it.
Yeah, they scheme like they don't give a damn.
It very much did not look like the last. Now, again, they're not playing otherworldly, highly talented receivers. No shot to Syracuse or East Tennessee State, but they very much played like, hey, we've got dudes, we're going to man you up, and good luck.
So was asked about Dontrell Glover, what he's done to earn the right to play early. He said he's practiced the best. Right? He's practiced the best. I think he's going to start this weekend, by the way. I think it was that good.
Has he ever answered a question at what he values more as far as playing time goes, if you practice well or if you are just a gamer?
Well, I don't think you get the opportunity to show that you're a gamer unless you practice well at Georgia. Now, I do think there are, let's go see if the talented kid who we've invested a lot of assets into, if he can swim. We've seen that with Malachi. We saw that with Michael. We saw that with KJ Bolden. I think we're seeing that with Elijah Griffin. I think we're seeing that with Talon Taylor. Yeah. I think we're seeing him see if these kids can swim, but they earn that through practice, right? And I think that's the right way to go about it at every program.
Yeah.
You know, if you can practice well at Georgia, you would imagine you can play well. Chat going crazy today. I'm good on Kirby Smart presser notes. That is that.
I like it.
That's all I got.
Some good notes.
Some good notes.
Going back to special teams, though, I mean, Boo Carter almost took one back against Georgia last year had it not been for Brett Thorson defeating a block and tackling Boo Carter. And he's a dangerous returner, so that's something you certainly have to pay attention to.
Thorson making that tackle this year?
They're probably saying,
I'm thinking no.
They're probably like, just roll in front of his legs, like just dive and don't do anything else.
All right, where are we at on the local hour here? Let's get a fantasy update right quick. Who's doing what? Do I need to go over there and rewrite points?
No, I already did it.
Oh, you already did it?
Yeah.
Look at you.
It's already up there on the board. Kirby just has to get the camera angle.
Who's getting a beating this week?
Me again.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, Kirby thought I might have a chance, but it's the Nate Frazier and the Colby Young pickup certainly helped him this week.
All right, I think I'm going to, one more week, if you get trounced again, I think I'm going to let you pick up Dwight Phillips.
We were talking about that because we were doing the math. If he had Dwight Phillips, I think I would still beat him by 20, but it would have been a
little closer race.
Much more competitive race.
And I do think, the next available free agent will go to Kirby.
Yeah, if he needs one, absolutely.
It'll be another running back. Someone's bound to get hurt, you'd imagine. It's football.
Yeah, it happens.
I mean, the difference maker last year was injuries at the running back position.
Trevor Etienne.
Absolutely.
You won and lost if Trevor Etienne played.
Correct.
And then it just so happened that towards the back end of the season, Nate Frazier had gotten so many more reps that he became kind of a pseudo RB1. So,
yeah, I mean, I can't remember the last time Georgia went a season without one of their running backs going down at some point.
The Evander, DeAndre, both 1,000 seasons.
That's true. Those two did stay healthy.
Yeah. They had to. That was the offense.
The 2019 season, I don't think you lost Brian Herring or DeAndre Swift either.
Or Zamir White.
Well, DeAndre Swift got hurt in the SEC championship.
Yeah.
He had an ankle injury.
Am I right in saying that once Zamir got over the knee injuries, he was healthy his entire career?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was 2 ACLs.
And then good to go.
Yep. Or was it 3 ACLs?
It was 2. One in high school, once and one when he got there, I think. But that was impressive for a guy. I mean, he's the only back I feel like that was lately that has been, I'm just always healthy. Mm-hmm. Swift was always banged up. Harrion was always banged up. Or not always banged up. McIntosh was always banged up.
Yeah.
Kendall was always banged up.
Yes, he was.
Unfortunately.
Dejan struggled with some things every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Nate's been healthy.
He has.
So far.
He has.
Nate's been healthy. All right. We'll see. Where do we want to go next? Let's talk about this defense. Guys, how would you defend these offenses? I'm going to give you guys the floor, and then I'm going to talk some ball. How about that? Or you just want me to talk some ball?
I mean, we can talk ball too if you like.
I would love to hear you talk some ball.
So, I mean, obviously everyone wants to talk about how a Josh Heupel offense is predicated on the deep passes and taking your head off and all these things, when in reality, it's the effective run game that sets up these deep passes that makes everyone go, wow, this Tennessee offense is explosive. It's why Georgia has put such an emphasis on stopping the run with players, as few players in the box as possible, which you're going to see something similar to again. I think you're obviously probably going to see 5-man, at most 6-man boxes throughout this game. My guess, though, is because they've incorporated a much larger emphasis on screen games and not necessarily using these wide splits, you're probably going to see your safeties back off a good bit. If I'm Kirby Smart, and obviously I'm not the expertise on this, I would say to KJ Bolden and whoever our starting safety, let's just for hypothetical sake, it's Kyron Jones. We're staying 15 yards back. The only reason you guys should make a tackle is if they complete a dig over the middle or they get a deep ball past you. Other than that, we should not have to rely on you to make stops in the run game today. So that's kind of what I would say is attacking this defense. As far as the front, I would go at them with, I haven't watched their offense enough to know what would work, but light boxes and being able to stop and keep everything in front of you, I think is going to be an emphasis.
Yeah, I kind of put in mind, I would do this at least early. I don't know if I do it for the entire football game, but I think early on, if I were Georgia, I would really have my corners press up into their wide receivers. I would really try and see, are their wide receivers legit enough to beat us? How good are you? Let's test you early, make you feel uncomfortable early on. That's what I would do. If you have that much faith in your corners, if Georgia feels like they have 4 NFL corners, well, let's go test it out. Let's go put your best corners out there and see how good they are in man-to-man coverage against this Tennessee offense. See if you can cover them all day. Because if you can, it makes life even easier for you.
All right, I've got 2 of them. I've got how Georgia should defend Tennessee, and I've got how Tennessee should defend Gunner. Which one do you want?
How Georgia should defend Tennessee.
All right, how Georgia should defend Tennessee. 3 years in a row. All right. 3 years in a row, Kirby has shown 3 down soft zones to start football games. He'll show a 3 down front, 2 linebackers, whole lot of soft zone. He does that for about a possession or 2, and then he immediately walks down in their face and starts pressuring and sending the heat. That's immediately what the game plan has been for 3 straight years. Here's this soft zone. We're going to make it nice and easy for you, make you walk it down the field, and then the next possession, it's like, we came to hunt today. Psych, just kidding. We came to hunt today. If I'm playing Tennessee this week, I'm just like these boys. I'm starting with the hunt. That's what we're starting with this week. We're going to walk out there. We're going to tell our 4 NFL corners that we've been telling all summer. We have no idea which of you 2 we want to play, so please don't leave us. Please don't transfer. Please don't transfer. And they've all stayed. So guess what? This is the week to deploy him. This is the week to walk out there and say, Chris Bradswell ain't going to beat Dalen Everett. Not as long as we're playing defense today. And if they do, we'll adjust then. But we're going to come out first and say, no way you're beating our corners. No way Mike Matthews is outrunning Jonell Aguero today. He's a 4-4 athlete just like you are, Jonell. We can handle it. That's what my game plan would be ultimately to start this football game. It's not about whether or not Joey Aguilar can beat me. I think he can. I believe in Joey Aguilar's skill sets. I don't necessarily believe in the other guys. I think my guys are better than theirs, so I'm going to trust my guys just like these guys talked about just a second ago. So that's me, first and foremost. The other thing, you got to learn the pace, right? You got to practice the pace. You got to get used to the pace. So I would 2 platoon in practice. And I'm not talking about 2 platoon in the defensive unit. I'm talking about having 2 scout team huddles. And we would ransack those guys all day long, somehow, some way, without burning them out during practice. Because that's the hard part. We got to find that balance between getting way too many reps while also preparing them for the pace, because the pace is a real thing, especially for a back end unit that went from the last time they played this team, the last 2 times they played this team, having Malachi Starks back there, to now that back end unit being controlled by KJ Bolden for the first time. Also, add Dan Jackson into that mix. When bullets are flying really, really fast, having a veteran presence that's gone through the prep 3 or 4 times back there is really, really important. All right, so can KJ, second time going through this prep, can he be ready to get everybody safe and sound on that defensive side of the football? It's important. Also, hey, got to be prepared to tackle the backs. Got to be. These backs are big, okay, especially Peyton Lewis. Peyton Lewis wants to run you over despite the fact that he's a high school track kid, okay, and he looks like he's 240 pounds. I don't know what he's actually wearing, but that dude looks huge on tape, okay? Got to be prepared to tackle these backs. I don't think they're as special as they were a year ago, because I thought Dylan Sampson was an elite running back. That being said, I think they're more physical when they're carrying the football. Got to be ready to get those guys down on the ground. They're not going to try to make you miss. They're going to try to make you get ran over and embarrassed on national television. Be ready.
So it's an ice bath and ibuprofen type game for both?
Yeah. Dude, these defenses hunt the football. Mm-hmm. We've studied them both at this point. We had a defensive film study from Tennessee, What to Expect, come out today. There's high effort football on both sides of the ball. There's no doubt about that. And they hunt it and they tackle it physically. Do you want the prep for Georgia's offense?
Yes, please.
Or should I be giving away the keys like this?
I mean, giving up the goods?
I mean, dude, here's the deal. I'm some idiot on YouTube that talks in his mom's basement. So if I'm giving Tennessee any tips about how to stop Georgia's offense, I think y'all got more problems than me giving away the secrets, okay? I would imagine Tim Banks knows football a little bit better than I do. Okay, I would hope so. That's the assumption as we go to do this. There's been a lot of this narrative about, hey, I would just load the box against Georgia and play man-to-man coverage and make the quarterback beat me. I think that makes it way too simple. I think it makes it way too simple on a quarterback who has obviously not trusted what he has seen through 2 games against lesser than competition. So the last thing I would do if I were Tim Banks and Tennessee is just load the box and make this a can my guy beat his guy football game. Because that's what it would be. If you're going to play cover 1, send 6, you're going to turn this into, can Colby Young beat that young corner? All right, he beat him, I'm going to hit him. If not, I'm going to scramble and make something happen. We can't make it that simple in the first road start for this football player. So every opportunity I get, guys, to send some type of simulated pressure or some type of zone pressure or some type of, you think I'm playing this, but really I'm playing this, we're going to do it all game on Saturday against this quarterback who is very clearly not trusted what he's seeing. So I'm not going to give him an easy picture. And there's no easier picture than cover 1 man. None. All right, that puts it all on, can my receivers win? I don't want that to be the case Saturday if I'm Tennessee. I want, can the quarterback beat me? Not, can this guy get space? That's too easy for the quarterback. The other thing, obvious, if you're playing against Georgia this year, you better eliminate that run game. You better eliminate that run game and do so without turning it into a man-to-man opportunity on the outside. We better be able to stop that run, all right, without dedicating too many bodies, as is usually the case, because this guy can throw deep balls. I believe that. All right, I watched it against Notre Dame. I believe this guy can make tight window throws, back shoulder fades, slants, okay, go balls. I know this guy can throw those. What I don't know is if you're sitting in zone coverage and he's got to read the full progression, if he can make tight window throws into zone coverage. I would force him to do that all football game when I am actually able to do so. Hey, got to alert to situational runs for this quarterback, okay? 2nd and 2s, maybe no. 3rd and 2s, maybe so. You know what I'm saying? Like 4th and 2, watch out for the quarterback. 4th and 1, watch out for the quarterback. 1st and 10, ball inside the 10 in the red zone. Watch out for the quarterback. All right, be alert to situational runs from the QB. All right, 2nd and 12, just had an inefficient run on 1st down. watch out for quarterback run. All right. Basically, the Riley Leonard, when they ran him game plan, that's probably what Georgia is applying to their quarterback. That's what every offensive coordinator should be applying to their quarterback, in my opinion. So be alert to situational runs. Not going to give that one away.
Ooh.
Not going to give that one away. I thought that was pure gamesmanship. If you want to know what it was, go back and watch our reaction shows from last year, or the last time they played in Neyland. There was a very specific operation that Georgia did to avoid crowd noise. Oh. That's all I'll say.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was brilliant. And I can't believe more teams don't do it. Yeah. It was brilliant. And they're going to do it again this week. No different than they're going to be very, very basic with regards to motion. You won't see a lot of motion this week, so you don't have to worry about that. So if I'm Tim Banks, if you're not going to motion, if you're not going to change the look too much pre-snap because you're worried about crowd noise, you're worried about false starts, you're worried about whatever, then I get to be a little bit more complex in my disguises, right? If you're going to be stagnant pre-snap, I can be manipulative post-snap. Does that make sense?
Very much.
Okay, because if you go from a 2x2 stance to a 3x1 stance, I have to indicate how I'm playing that 3x1 in my split coverage unit. But if you line up in 3x1 and stay there in 3x1, I can change whatever it is that I'm doing in my split coverage unit. That's football. Okay. That's why pre-snap motion is so heavily used nowadays in football. What else do I got for you? Got to be alert to personnel manipulation. Okay, Mike Bobo has murdered you the last 2 years with personnel manipulation, right? Whether it be hiding Dylan Bell, whether it be getting in tackle over, whether it be hiding a tight end because we're in tackle over, whether it be getting in 21 personnel and hiding Zachariah Branch. Whatever it is, Tim Banks has been ran circles around by Mike Bobo due to personnel manipulation or formation manipulation. You got to be alert to that. Okay, everyone thinks this guy's boring. I think he lulls you to sleep. That's what I think Bobo does. At least the years over that have shown that to me. Tackle Zachariah Branch.
Yeah.
Good luck. But tackle him. You got to get that guy on the ground. He's an explosive waiting to happen. And they don't have to get him the ball 40 yards down the field either. They get him 10 yards away from the quarterback, give him the ball, and it's like, uh-oh, number one's all over the place. So watch out for there. Eye discipline against any play-action team is very, very important. Very, very important. Jeremiah Teelander's got 2 weeks in a row. Okay, big-time explosive to start the football game. Just playing a little bit over his skis. Watch out, 22. Eye discipline, major key.
Was it?
Is that it? I mean, good Lord.
Are you done?
Is that it?
Are you done? Sorry, that was poor phrasing on my part. Are you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm done now. I mean, it's your show.
Whoa.
Your name's on the wall.
Don't get all
bright. Your name's on the wall.
Don't get all
What are you going to do with this power that you've been gifted? Tell us where we're going, Kirby.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, what are we doing, man?
Well, we've given the keys for both teams. I think we should probably talk about who needs the ball.
Who needs the ball, Christian Kirby? Who needs the ball?
First one is Jonell Aguero.
I got 10. You want my 10?
Let's hear it.
Yeah, I got 10 guys that need the ball. Number 10, Gunnar Stockton. Number 9, Colby Young.
Yep. Ooh, yes.
They dare to play man-to-man. Colby Young got to eat. Number 8, Dylan Bell. Big time coming out party in this football game on the road 2 years ago.
Yeah.
A coming out party. Feel good in Neyland. Name it Dylan Bell Stadium after this weekend, maybe.
Ooh.
You know? Get back to it, 86. See what can happen right there for you. Number 7, Mike Bobo. Mike Bobo, got to have a good game.
Got to play well.
Got to have some man beaters put in the pocket for you, okay? Got to be able to beat that man.
Pause.
Number 6, whoever's playing right tackle.
Oh, I have that as well.
Whoever's playing right tackle. I need you to play well. Number 5, Monroe Freeling, the left tackle.
Yep.
Number 4, we think you're going to get attacked, Jonell Aguero. Number 3, big-time man-to-man corner. Got to have a great game, a la Kamari Lassiter 2 years ago, Dalen Everett.
Yep.
Yes.
Got to have a big game, Dalen. Number 2, Chris Cole.
Yep.
I think of anybody in the pass rush unit that can get home quickest, it's Chris Cole. It's a get-home-quick football game. They don't hold the ball very long in this Tennessee offense. Number 1, got to have a massive game because things have changed over there at Tennessee offensively. Glenn Schumann, get a good plan put together, Shu. I want to see Shu come off the field with that I know he cooked smile. You know, I know I cooked.
These are all very, very good. I think
you didn't mention one that I had, though. All the other ones you mentioned, actually 2 you didn't mention. I have Zachariah Branch on my list because I think that with how aggressive Tennessee likes to play, you're going to need at moments a guy to just win immediately. I think Zachariah Branch is going to be your best opportunity at times. And not only that, but when you get the ball to Zachariah Branch, he has the opportunity to, like you mentioned earlier when you were talking about how to defend them, of this guy could take it 40 yards. If you're going to like immediately get downfield with him, I think he's a great safety net for Georgia to rely on. And then also I put the tight ends. Oscar Delp was a huge player in this game last year.
Yeah,
he had 2 major touchdowns for Georgia. And you're talking about Mike Bobo as well. Like, I think I remember us talking about during that film study after the Georgia-Tennessee game last year that was probably the best game he called last year. Like, he set so many things up, 2 of those being the Oscar Delp touchdowns.
Oh, dusting off quarterback run for the first time in 2 years was nuts. It was a pivotal point in that game, too.
So, yeah, and just like I think it needs to happen this weekend for Lawson Lucky or Oscar Delp, or both of them. That would be the dream scenario, but one of those two, I feel like you got to get those guys rolling.
I think another name that gets overlooked in the schematics of this is Raylan Wilson. Got to be able to fill run alleys and do well in that. We saw what happened in 2023 if that doesn't happen. Wasn't it Jalen Wright went for a 75-yard touchdown first play of the game, had to overcome a very raucous Tennessee crowd after that. So be in the run support when you need to be. Don't let them get to the second level because these running backs, while you said they're not Dylan Sampson, they are still very dangerous.
I forgot a key on defending Tennessee. Defensive line got to keep that lone linebacker clean.
Yes.
Probably only going to have a backer in the box unless they're playing 3 down front. Then you'll have 2. But normally when they play this team, they dabble in a little 4-1-6 every once in a while because you have to. You got to play so light because they spread you out so much. Now, as Kitzelman has become more and more important to this offense, they've become a lot more condensed.
Yeah.
So maybe you don't feel the need to play this way. Maybe you're not a 4-1-6 football team. Maybe you're a 4-2-5 football team and you just stay in it.
Yeah.
When you go to a 4-1-6, would you sub out the will and put in another DB in that regard? Like another star body?
Yeah. Well, you're in dime. Mm-hmm. That's all.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Other people play mind tricks on this. They're like, we're in a 4-2-5, but really you're in 4-3 base personnel. But the third linebacker's just playing the nickel.
Yeah.
Don't do that to me. You're a 4-3 football team. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at that stuff when counting personnel.
Right.
It's not what you're playing; it's who you're playing.
Yeah.
That's what personnel counts are. You know?
Yeah.
That's the way I've always looked at that.
That's why guys like Brock Bowers are such a nightmare.
Oh, yeah. Brock Bowers, number 18 from Oregon. The guys that we don't know how to classify, and we don't know how to personnel group, they create nightmares.
That's what made defenses. Dylan Bell so effective in this game 2 years ago is because you didn't know where he was classified as.
Where he was classified, what he was classified, where he was going to play, what he was going to be doing. I mean, they dusted off wide receiver pass in that football game. Was that the last trick play Georgia's ran?
That's a good question. No. Because they did the reverse in the SEC championship.
No. End arounds don't count. That's basic install in their offense.
You think so?
It is nowadays. Everyone's got end arounds put in. Everybody's got orbit motion. Everybody's got end arounds because everybody's trying to get around all the stunts in the run game. I'm talking about double reverse pass, like goofy shit. That's what I'm talking about.
Was the Texas drive not a flea flicker?
No, that was tight end leak. You talking about Oscar Delp flipped the field at Texas?
Yeah.
That was tight end leak. We talked about that this morning.
But I feel like Carson Beck got the ball flipped back to. I'm going to watch that.
Oh, it was a flea flicker against Texas, they say.
There was one. I don't know if it was the Oscar Delp play, though. I can't remember. Yeah, the only one I could think of was, and this doesn't really even count almost, would be the fake punt.
And Ladd against FSU. He tried to throw a ball and ended up running for a touchdown to start that football game. That one was like, oh, you guys are slow today. Wow.
Y'all weren't ready.
Woof. So, yeah. No, it's been a while since they've been out here doing the trickeration nonsense. Mm-hmm. So, we'll see that. That's your head coach, by the way. He ain't out here for none of them tricky game stuff.
Nope.
Don't need it. Don't need it unless we want it.
Who else needs the ball? We good on that?
Yeah, I think we're good on that.
All right. Hey, this Vegas line keeps moving, man. Opened up at what, 7.5?
It was 7.5 on Sunday.
7.5 moved all the way down to 3.5. Is that correct?
It was back up to 4.5 for a while in some books, and now it's back down to 3. It's had a lot of movement, which is weird and somewhat alarming.
You're my gambling expert. Is this always public money that moves this initially?
Well, it's weird because when it's that fast, it's typically sharp money getting in saying, oh, there's value here. Let's get on this quick. And that's what typically moves it. The public money usually comes in the weekdays leading up to it where it's like, oh, Georgia's only favored by this much, so-and-so. And that's why you see the line moving back and forth. And it's only usually by a point or a point and a half. So I think the public money kind of favored Georgia and then favored back. But a 4-point drop from a line like that indicates heavy, sharp money on Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Similar to what we saw with the Baylor-Auburn game at first. So it's worrisome to some degree, but then again, 7.5 points covering that's not necessarily winning if you're Tennessee. But like I said, we wrote an article about it today. It's something to pay attention for because even if this closes at 7.5, this is the lowest spread a Georgia-Tennessee game has had under Kirby Smart.
Yep.
Even in 2022, I think that line closed at 8.5.
Yeah.
So
what are your
it's something
thoughts
to pay
on this,
attention
J-Will?
to.
I mean, I think that what I always pay attention to is what is it on Friday? Because that's kind of like the final thoughts of the betting line almost. Like that's the final number that you're going to get. But getting that significant amount of movement early on, like that is somewhat like, whoa. I can't remember what the exact numbers were, but I do remember seeing something about how there was sharp money put on the game early on into the week, and that kind of made the line teeter. But I do think it has been a lot of public money as well.
Vegas doubting you. A lot of talking heads doubting Georgia. Game day is going to be in Knoxville. I bet that desk is fluttered with the Power T.
Wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know what the record is over these years, but it's damn sure pretty good when Kirby Smart's doubted. If I were a Tennessee fan, I'd be looking at this like, uh-oh. Like, we know how this goes. The last time this happened was in the regular season was on the road last year at Texas, and this feels oddly similar to that football game.
I agree.
It feels oddly
Zero was
similar.
actually saying that to me.
Where going into it, everybody's like, oh, Georgia looks like poop. They just struggled against Mississippi State. They're going to go out there and get rolled, boys. Negative. An absolute defensive game plan from hell for them boys. Just absolutely dusted off.
Yeah, I actually did mention that to Kirby of this just kind of feels like the Texas game to me of people were not high on Georgia's offense going into that one. They were going to Austin. It was like the biggest matchup of the week, all that stuff. And Texas's offense was looking really good under Quinn Ewers, and Arch Manning at that time was also being inserted into the offensive line. He was going to be a problem. Texas's defense was looking good, kind of like how Tennessee's being built up right now. And then for Georgia, except for this year, is everybody knows your defense is good, but everybody's questioning the offense. I mean, last year it was because your quarterback was turning it over and you had drops and whatnot, but this year it's just they're not sure if you can be explosive. It just feels that way of like there's a lot of people in the media, I should say, because I feel like the fan bases, they don't want to pick a side right now. Nobody wants to actually step up and say, we're the ones that are winning this. Everybody's like doing the reverse jinx stuff. But the media is what I'm noticing of. A lot of people are saying Tennessee is taking this game. It just reminds me of that.
It's interesting you said it, Jay, when we were talking about this. I feel like you and me are on very different sides of algorithms when it comes to this, because I feel like Georgia fans have come into this game very much like, it's Tennessee. Kirby owns them. Josh Heupel hasn't been able to do anything against the Bulldogs. Georgia's 8-0 in the last 8 games. They're going on 4 straight wins in Neyland. Like, home field advantage is non-existent here. I trust Kirby Smart. He's Tennessee's daddy, all these things. So I feel like there's a lot of confidence from the Georgia fan base here, and I don't know how I feel about that.
I see it both ways.
Yeah.
I see it both ways on my timeline. Or at least in my mentions. I don't even feel like I read my timeline anymore. I'm just scrolling through mentions, making sure no one calls me too fat, and then move forward throughout my day.
Damn, is that what you're doing on social media now?
No.
By the way, that Texas game was a handoff Cash Jones, flip to Dominic Lovett on an end around, and then toss it back to Carson Beck. So I classify
That's Lord. That's 100% trick play. No doubt. So there's that. Has Film Guy Network spoke on the whole holding back narrative? So, like, I mean, here's my thing. All right. The passing concept at the University of Georgia have not changed in 3 years. So if you're looking for something to study, or if you don't know what to study, or if you don't know what to prepare for, you got the wrong football coaches, first and foremost. The other thing that I want to address is this, like, Georgia's been vanilla. Ladies and gentlemen, I've seen them orbit to counter. I've seen them run GH counter. I've seen them run GT counter. I've seen them run power for the first time since the 2018 Sugar Bowl against Baylor. I've seen them run jet sweeps. I've seen them run end arounds. I've seen them run out of the eye. I've seen them run out of the pistol. They've shown you everything. You got to prepare for all of it. And they've ran it all really, really well. Now, the passing stuff, again, if you need to know what Georgia does passing-wise right now and you're scratching your head of what to prepare for, you've got the wrong coaching staff. They ain't really changed much over the last 3 years.
Brooks, you're not listening, dude. It's run, screen for Bobo.
That's right.
They've been holding back in that.
That's right.
All they do is runs up the middle and then a screen on third down.
Man, no, I'm not going to. I don't want to dive into that. But yeah, it's... yeah, that is a narrative. And, like, you can be simple, but also still you're not like holding everything back like, ooh, it's a secret. Like we got the secret playbook in the briefcase that we're opening up against Tennessee that we haven't shown anything. Like, you still got to work on what you want to run. You can't just go into these first 2 weeks and be like, we're not running anything that we're going to run in week 3. You have to work on that stuff. You have to get guys reps into it, so that way when you do go on the road, like, it's just repetition at that point.
Yeah.
Also, to me, like, the concerns wouldn't be about the vanillaness of the playbook. It would be about the lack of willingness to pull the trigger from the quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, there's been so much lately on social media, and it's just him. People are going to hate him because he's him. The Mike Bobo stuff, all the blame on him. Like, no, the blame on your your offense not looking like you want it to right now is on the feet of the quarterback and some protection issues. Don't get me wrong there. But most of the we're not throwing for 300 yards today is because there's been 65 yards left on the field by the quarterback not pulling the trigger, which goes back to that conversation earlier. I'd be playing zone. I would not be man-to-man in this football.
Also, we talked about...
It's the opposite of the Carson Beck eval. Well, for years on this network, I said it's a death sentence to sit there in zone coverage. This kid's going to pick you apart. I don't believe that to be the case now with Gunner. It's the other way around. But I saw teams try to play zone on Gunner or Carson for years.
Yep.
Every team that played cover 3 the last 2 years against Georgia has been absolutely obliterated. It's different this year. It's totally different.
I'm trying to remember what I was going to say now.
I cut you off. That's on me.
How like we're not the offense isn't throwing for 300 yards. Well, we talked about all offseason. This is not going to be an offense in which Gunnar Stockton is going to be throwing for 300 yards every single game. The target range for Gunnar Stockton is like 250, 275, like on a really good day. Like that's what you want to see out of Gunnar.
Dude, the most ideal stat line this weekend is Gunnar goes 18 for 24, 260, 2 touchdowns, and y'all run the ball for 260 yards.
Yeah.
Yep.
You'll score 42 points doing that. Mm-hmm. And that I think that's what they're trying to. Also, that's their whole identity. That's why the play action pass protection has been really, really concerning, because that's how you're going to be explosive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be explosive in a traditional drop back standard like passing game. You're going to be explosive because you force the safety into the box. Oh my God, linebackers bit up. Here goes Zachariah Branch on a deep over for 60 yards.
Yeah.
That's how you become explosive.
No doubt.
It's just always fun to talk about how there's this large belief amongst fan bases that they've only opened up a quarter of the playbook right now, and that there's things now. Obviously, there's going to be new installs.
Yeah, like you haven't ran a single double move. I don't think you've ran anything where it's like we get the ball on the right hash, so now we're gonna run a basic flood concept into the boundary. Like there are certain things that you haven't gotten to because you haven't needed to get to them. Like I think the first double move you dusted off last year was against Alabama in the fourth quarter. Dylan Bell, against a half field safety that bit in on a post,
and that was one that they had been like waiting to get into,
setting up and waiting, and then bam! Like guys, you don't want to be out here dumping the clip when you don't have to. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Hey, guys, these two football teams have played every single year. Now, it's going to be a little bit different when we go to the 6-3 model. We go to 9 conference games, yada, yada, yada. But these two teams obviously faced off last year. Mm-hmm. What are the differences between these two football teams? And I'm going to let you guys go last because I think I'm going to hit on most of these things. Let's start with Tennessee. First and foremost, they're an extension of the run game. Their screen game is totally different. How they get to them, how they get free access throws for the quarterback, how they get these run after the catch opportunities, their RPO game, it's totally changed year over year. Kirby talked about finding other plays, looking at film and taking from them, copycat sport, that kind of stuff. We showed you week 1, they have ripped everything from Texas with regards to the screen game. It's made them a much more efficient offense when you eliminate their run game. No one's been able to do it to them yet. I think they spent the whole time doing that, developing that in the offseason for this matchup, because they're anticipating Georgia's going to make it hard to run the football. So how are we going to get extra yardage elsewhere? They've done a good job. Quarterback's totally different for them this year, right? We've talked about that on this network. I think we were the first to the table on that of, hey, that guy's not any good. This guy coming in pretty damn good. Plays the quarterback position. Doesn't just, oh, you not open? Okay, I'm running. That's the way the other guy played. This guy's playing the position. Now, I do think they have downgraded at the running back position because I think Dylan Sampson's that special. It has nothing to do with Deshaun Bishop, has nothing to do with Peyton Lewis, and everything to do with what I thought number 6 was for that football team last year. They're different but I don't think there's a drop-off. I don't know if Anthony Joseph is going to be drafted as high as James Pierce, but I've been watching 19 play football the last 2 years. People are going to talk about the loss of James Pierce this weekend. You're going to hear about it. I don't think they lost much from a playing standpoint. I think 19 is a damn good football player, okay? So don't worry about that. In fact, I think 19 plays harder. I think it's a harder assignment. I think when they're down 14 points in this game, if that happens, 27 will shut it off. 19 ain't. So get ready for that one on this weekend, or this weekend for those tackles. Obviously, Jermod McCoy's out, and now Ricky Gibson's out, but I think Edmonds, the young corner, is really, really good. I think the transfer Hood that they got over from Colorado is not bad either. It made big havoc-wreaking plays and big-time playmaking ability in that first game against Syracuse. I think the offensive line is improved. I really do. Now, they haven't played what they're about to play this weekend, but neither has Georgia. And I'm going to talk about their improvements. But I think they've gotten better up front. All right? So that's my difference making. I think the defense is relatively the same, to be honest with you. Yeah. They look the same to me.
I had in mind that I think that they are pretty much the same, maybe with like a smidge of a drop-off for Tennessee. Like maybe just a smidge. Like it's maybe not even a difference. Yeah.
Like depth up front for sure.
It's not that much of a difference maker.
No. Like the first 11 that they play, they're just as good as last year, in my opinion. Now, on the Georgia side of the football, the run game's obviously different. Not just the quarterback being involved, but they've changed some things in how they install, how they're going about blocking schemes. It looks a lot better, particularly against a stunting football team, which is exactly what Tennessee is. They stunt probably more than most SEC football teams from what I have seen on tape, and they do so really, really downhill and aggressively, okay? Also, Georgia's offense has changed identities. They're a pistol football team now. Like, that's what they are. I think if you were to say, what is Georgia? Georgia is a pistol pro-style football team. That's what they are. They were not that last year. Last year, they were a side saddle pro-style football team. It's totally different. Launch points, angles are different. Quarterback manipulation of the launch points different. Everything is different about how they're presenting offense. The concepts, however, are relatively similar. The run game has improved for Georgia. We believe that. The backs are better, more experienced, more with a different variety, too. I think Dwight Phillips has added a needed explosiveness to this. Yeah, different gear. Needed explosiveness nature to this running back room. And I think the defensive line's got a much higher ceiling than what they had last year. No offense to Warren Brinson, no offense to Nas Stackhouse. They're just better. Christian Miller's just better. Elijah Griffin's just better. Jordan Hall's playing good football right now. They're just better. Xavier McLeod has not played at all because they don't need him to play. Okay? He is really, really good. All right? The weapons at Georgia are better this year than they were last year. Okay? Quarterback pocket passing is worse, but the quarterback sack avoidance is better.
Much better.
Right? Like you have a statuesque quarterback last year, but damn, he was dialed when stuff was open, right? He had never had to worry about his processes at the quarterback position apart from the Florida game. But you're harder to get down on the ground. There's no doubt about that, in my opinion. Now, I have a question, and I want you to look this up while I'm actually talking. I don't think Georgia was good at deep passing last year, even though they had a good deep passer. In my opinion. I don't think they hit too many explosives in the passing game. I think they were pretty bad at it, in fact. I thought they were relatively decent intermediate. I thought they dropped the football, but I didn't think they connected too many times on deep passes last year. So they're bad at it right now, but I thought they were pretty bad at it last year. At least that's what my memory tells me. I don't know what the stats say about that. Do you remember them being bad?
They were inconsistent. They had games like Mississippi State and even some moments in the Texas game where they had some really big
So we expect this to turn us back in the 60s or the 70s? What were they?
They were really good for 20 plus or 30 plus yard passing plays.
Yeah.
For 20, but for 40 plus yard plays, they ranked 51st.
Okay.
So, and I mean,
mediocre.
Alabama was also like, hey, the last 20 minutes of this game, we're just going to try to get 30-yard chunk plays.
Yeah.
So, mediocre.
I just felt like they were disconnected.
Yeah, for sure.
The problem was they were inconsistent, and that's the biggest word.
Still is from a confidence standpoint and a protection standpoint, still inconsistent.
But I would rather from a confidence and protection than the flat out execution of the guys there we can't connect with the throw, or the guys there we drop the ball. That I would rather have like, hey, the quarterback's scared to rip it, as opposed to they're dropping it.
Where else are they different? What did I miss?
I think
overall,
these teams different? Holistically, Georgia is a much more physical team offensively this year.
Yeah.
Last year felt very much like, hey, we'd like to run the football, but Yeah, I guess we can't. We're just going to give Carson Beck the ball 35 times today and hope that our receivers play well enough for us to win and our offensive line can protect enough. That's what the offense very much felt like this year or last year. This year, it's like you said, a lot of different complexities within the run game. They're going to try to run at you. They want to punch you in the mouth. That's the fire, passion, and energy that they've all talked about.
I think one of the bigger differences for Tennessee, in my opinion, is that the vibes are a lot higher for them going into this game. Last year, by the time that Tennessee came to Athens, it was late in the year. People kind of knew about Tennessee's offense. They weren't explosive as they were in previous years. They weren't hitting their deep shots. I think that they were still pretty confident in their football team. They knew that they had a chance to make it in the college football playoff, but the vibes around that team were not nearly as high as they are going into this one because they are hitting their explosive plays, and they do have a good defense this year, and they think they're better at the offensive line position. All of those things. So the fan base has a higher vibe around it. The team, I think, would have a higher vibe around it. All those things coming into this weekend, that's a big difference.
I think also on the offensive for Tennessee, they're more multiple. The screen game incorporation that we've seen is something that I feel like is a wrinkle that's been missing from a hypo offense. It felt like for the last 3 or 4 years, it was very much, hey, we're going to run the ball, and then we're going to hit you over the head with a deep shot.
It's really, really, really hard to have any type of extension of the run game when the extension of the run game's outside the numbers.
Yeah, when it's 48 yards away.
Yeah, from you. And that's a lot what Kirby was talking about today. And what I was fascinated by when I watched him against Syracuse is that you're taking things from other people and changing how they do them to apply to what you do. Mm-hmm. That's coaching.
Yeah,
that's what it is. So yeah, man, I think these two football coaches are in it for the long haul. I just Hypo's got to get one of these, or else it's going to be one of these hurdles, man. It's just going to be, and that's what I keep getting on these Tennessee radio stations, and they keep asking what is it? Why has this guy got this advantage? And it's pretty simple, okay? The Tennessee offensive identity is about this right here. We're going to spread you out, make you light in the box, and then we're going to be able to run up against that lightened box because we spread you out. That's their whole identity. That's why they run the football really, really successfully. Well, on the flip side, what is Georgia's identity? Georgia's entire defensive identity is we got big dudes and we gonna play that box light. We live off light boxes. That's what we do here at the University of Georgia. We stop your run game with 5 guys when you got 7 over there, and that's why you can't throw on us. So it's a stylistic matchup and a stylistic clash in which one of those stylistic ideals is way, way, way like the best at what they do at that. All right. Now, Tennessee's really good at what they do. Georgia's just built to do this. So that's why I make the prediction every year. Until it happens, it's the way I'm rolling. Georgia's winning the football game.
A difference I have, too, for Georgia going into this one that plays into what you were just talking about is I phrase it this way I think Georgia's more explosive on the defensive line this year. And that's not a knock on what they had last year. Not Stackhouse and TID and Michael Williams, all those guys last year were good football players, but I just think they have some more explosivity to them this year. I think they have a little bit more oomph to them, if you will. I just think they're a little more athletic. They can do a lot more. Or I shouldn't say they can do a lot more, but a little more explosive up front.
I mean, guys, they just look like defensively, it looks like that to me because they look pissed off for the first time in a long time. Yeah. That defense looks motivated. And I'm not saying they weren't last year. I'm not. But I do believe that team last year had aged out on this football staff. They had gotten to way too many fifth-year guys, way too many fourth-year guys, way too many guys that had heard the message over and over and over again. And now guess what? Those guys leave and the message changes. Now the message is fire, passion, and energy. Now the message is getting back to hard coaching. Now the message is getting back to running the football and stopping the run, right? Everything has changed. Why? Because the roster changed at a much higher rate with regards to age than it ever had before.
Yeah, and I don't even know if it's the message got still as it was to the seniors on that roster. Won national championships their freshman, sophomore year, had an undefeated season, 63-3 win in a...
We're the most all-time winningest senior class ever.
The greatest of all time for 4 years. By the time you got to the 5th year, it was like, yeah, we know what we are. We're really confident.
We got it, bro.
We don't have the hunger that Kirby Smart has talked about ad nauseum.
It's not necessarily deaf ears, just ears that had heard the message a bunch. All right, so sometimes either the body needs to change or the message needs to change, and I think both changed this year for the University of Georgia, and it's a lot different. Hey, we got a lot left on this week's slate with regards to content. I've got a film study coming up tomorrow, going to prepare you, show you how Georgia has secretly been preparing for this football game the last 2 weeks. Excited to bring it to you tomorrow here on this network. We love you. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button on your way out.